in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Bradley down into the lane, lay it up and good. Previous turnaround jump hook is good. Del Orso springs a three out there and drains it. Milwaukee takes away the rebound and slams it home. It's a man's game.
Bear down, Cats. Our window depot coverage of University of Arizona basketball begins with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to tip off for Arizona Wildcats basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Kick it cross court. Aristode will launch a three out there. It's over the rim, no good. Owaka cleans it up and puts it in. Aristode won't give him any space. Roy drives him inside. Ball tip and stolen. Bradley's got it for the Wildcats. Feet ahead to Koa Pete on the run. Pete will slam it home. Rebound Burry's head to Karchinkov, off to Bradley, who will slam it down with the right hand.
Air Bradley on runway number 1, ready for takeoff.
Monjukas, ball knocked away, loose. Owaka the steal ahead to Bradley the other way. Bradley another slam dunk.
Just turning over a frustrated Oklahoma State offensive team. Inability to get into any flow, and the Wildcats just take advantage.
Feed it for Del Orso, turns, fires the three, got it! Oh, fans love it. Cowboys will inbound the ball. There's the horn end of the ball game. Arizona 84, Oklahoma State 47, the final here at McHale. Cats go to 23-0, 10-0 in conference play, and head to Kansas on Monday.
All right, the previous team in the Big 12 that had won 22 consecutive games to start the season was a team from Lawrence, Kansas, the Jayhawks. Arizona eclipsed that on Saturday with their victory over Oklahoma State. Tonight, they'll go into that den, Fog Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, to take on the now number 9 Kansas Jayhawks. It is Big Monday in the Big 12. It is basketball night in Lawrence, Kansas. Welcome to Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. I'm your host, David Kelly. I've got the whole crew here today, although we are having some technical video difficulties, so you'll only be able, apparently, to see me today. That's okay. JW Madden is here. Kelvin Ifan is also here. We've got you for the next 3 hours as we take you to 6:30 this evening, and then we'll hand it off to Brian Jeffries and Reggie Geary in Lawrence, Kansas for the call of tonight's game between the Wildcats and the Kansas Jayhawks. Been looking forward to this one. The gauntlet is open, folks. The gauntlet of 4 games in a row against top 20 opponents has arrived. How will the Wildcats look on the other side of these next 4 games? As Tommy Lloyd likes to say, you can only take them 1 game at a time. And that first game is tonight for your Arizona Wildcats, who continue to be the undisputed, undefeated number 1 team in the nation in both the AP men's college basketball poll and the college basketball coaches poll. All right, here's what we got coming up for you over the course of the next 3 hours of our show.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, we'll take a look back and hear the reaction from a big defensive performance in the Wildcats knocking off the Oklahoma State Cowboys Saturday here in Tucson. We'll take our first look at tonight's game at Fog Allen with the Jayhawks. It's brought to you by Window Depot. A view from courtside. We'll take our first head out to Lawrence and hear from Reggie Geary. He will call the game tonight on the Wildcats Radio Network. You'll hear it right here on Wildcats Radio 1290, as well as over on K-Hit 107.5. Spotlight on a Cat. We celebrated the 2001 national finalists that team on Saturday. We talked to a few of the guys last week. Jason Gardner, one of those, as well as John Ash, locally here from South Point Catholic High School. Ryan Hansen caught up with Justin Wessel and Ricky Anderson. You'll hear that conversation. Spotlight on a Cap brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. DK with TL is as this year presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union. My questions, or maybe one of my questions, were on a back-to-back a quick game turnaround. Now, one of my questions to the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats. We'll check the college basketball scoreboard, brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers. Your scouting report. What's going on with this Kansas team that enters on a 7-game win streak? If there was ever a team that might have a shot to beat Arizona, it is the red-hot Jayhawks. Rock Chalk Jayhawks. Brian Haney is the play-by-play man for the Kansas Jayhawks. He will join us on the show. Who will be that Jayhawk potentially that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin? It's your Pest of the Game, presented by Essential Pest Control. Can we beat the book tonight over at the Casino del Sol Sports, Arizona? A 1.5-point favorite tonight over Kansas. You're over under 153.5. Keys to the Game brought to you by Royal Automotive, and your starting lineup is brought to you, as always, by Rocking K. That is what is on tap for you over the course of the next 3 hours. Guys, before we get to work, before we get back to what happened on Saturday, I just want to bring you guys in because this is what we've been waiting for. I mean, this is a stretch of the schedule, the final stages of Big 12 play, and then I put out on Twitter last night, is this the most anticipated final stage of a conference season in Arizona men's basketball history? What do you say to that?
I wasn't there for the Boulder Conference.
Yeah, it was a little bit before our time.
But as far as the Pac, Kelvin, yeah. I mean, we didn't see 5 consecutive top 15 teams in the Pac-10 or Pac-12.
Never seen that many, man. Just looking at the Gauntlet, it's just like it was set up perfectly. The Big 12 knew what they were doing with this schedule. Let's just say that.
They absolutely, Brett Yormark, he knows how to work his magic. We'll tell you about some other magic he might be working. And apparently, there's a big announcement coming tomorrow from the Big 12. Not sure exactly what that's going to be. But we've heard that a big announcement is on the horizon.
They teased that they're going to make changes to the conference tournament.
Oh,
right?
Conference basketball tournament?
Yeah. There was a tease last week, so I'm assuming this announcement has something to do with that. They said they're going to make some drastic changes to the way the conference tournament runs.
All right, we'll find out exactly what that is all about. Anyway, the Arizona Wildcats defense on Saturday was pretty unbelievable. 84-47. They held Oklahoma State to 47 points. This was a game in which the Oklahoma State, which had scored 99 in their previous game, a win over BYU, had just 28 points 10 minutes into the second half. Pretty impressive defensive performance, was it not, Tommy Lloyd?
I mean, I don't think we focused on them scoring 99. And we knew they have some talented offensive players, and we wanted to apply pressure and then make them play against size and tight windows, consistently over and over and over again. And I thought today it just kind of felt like over time our size kind of swallowed them up a little bit. And that happens. Obviously I wasn't expecting that outcome today. I mean, like you said, they had a big win on Wednesday, and Coach Lutz has done a great job. Just every once in a while, I think that kind of happens in basketball. A game on the road kind of gets away from you. So I'm sure they had some shots that, they normally make that didn't go today, and maybe some free throws. And then, then sometimes it gets a little tough to play from behind on the road in an environment like this. But yeah, I don't know. I thought our guys consistently, the defensive effort was pretty high level tonight.
High level is an understatement for sure. But it's not a surprise to Anthony Del Orso how good this team can defend.
Yeah, I think it's just effort, wanting to, prove something, keep teams to a low score. Shots will fall for us on offense, and if they don't, we'll always pride ourselves on defense, because it's not about, whether shots are going in or not. It determines our energy. We can play defense, all night.
Yeah, what did Oklahoma State in this game, 15 of 61 from the field. I mean, that guys, I don't know that we've seen too many. I'd love to go back and just kind of see the last time the Wildcats held a team under 25%. I mean, that's shooting the basketball.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
And I give the Wildcats a bunch of credit in that, but also Oklahoma State just played terribly offensively. They got a lot of open looks that they usually would knock down. You know, my kinfolk, Roy, he missed some shots that he normally wouldn't make. Give him a little bit of an excuse. He tweaked his ankle a little bit, but it still was some shots that I thought he could make. He only shot 3, so that's where I think Tommy Lloyd was that size bothered him because he didn't get to the basket. He didn't even try to go. He shot 3 of 11, and 10 of them was threes.
Right.
I mean, you got to get to the bucket so you can get to the free throw line. That's the way Arizona kills you. They get to the bucket with 2 pointers and free throws and get fouled and get to the free throw line. But I'll say this: Oklahoma State, when you get big wins like the last couple that they have, especially the BYU, a lot of guys don't know how to come down from that. That's still a team of 12 new guys, I believe, and I don't think they came down quick enough to be able to be ready to play Arizona. And when they got into that fight, they just wasn't ready.
Yeah, and another aspect is if you watch the BYU highlights and what they were trying to do, it's a lot of penetration and kick. So they took a lot of threes in that game that they lost to McHale, 28 3-point attempts, guys. But a lot of those weren't clean. Like Kelvin said, I did track maybe 2 or 3 open shots they missed there in the first half. But a lot of their clean looks, it's more that the clean looks didn't come because the clean drives weren't there. So in order to kick, you need to drive first, DK. And the way that Arizona collapses and the physicality, guys like Dwayne Aristote, Ivan Karchenkov, so forth, on the perimeter, not allowing their offensive matchups to get by that first-level defense. You have to get by the first-level defense, have the big step up, the defense pinches in, and then you can kick out to open shooters. So, Kelvin, to me, watching that tape, it didn't seem like they had quite as many open looks as they're used to, mostly because they just could not get around the first-level defense. And then when it started going downhill, it snowballed, and they just started missing shots. But Arizona's defense, to me, played about as well as they played all season long, super connected in that game, and really came out to prove a point, really, really stingy DK at letting those guys even get any kind of look at the rim outside of a couple of open looks in the first half.
Anthony Del Orso, in his previous 6 games to Saturday, had made just 5 of 31 shots. On Saturday, though, he hit 4 of 6 to finish with 11 points. Got to get Deli going, and it was good to see him make some shots, Tommy Lloyd said.
I mean, I don't know if he'd probably be more like a koala bear on his back, not a monkey. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Deli's been good. We had a good conversation yesterday. Deli's a great dude, a high character guy, and he's here for it. So, yeah, I'm happy to see him have a little bit of success because I'm sure that makes him feel a little bit better. But, I just told him, there's really no scenario I see where I don't keep giving him opportunities. So he's earned that and he deserves that, and our team needs it from him. So it was great contributions from him today.
Real quick, Kelvin, to me, when you see a great shooter, and I'm going to put Deli in the category of great. He's good/great shooter. When you see a great shooter have a slump like this or a series of games where he's not shooting quite well, I never look at the ball going in. I look at where the shots are coming from. So if you see a player like that go through a stretch and all of a sudden gets in his head, Kelvin, well, I got to see one go through right now. You might rush a shot. You might take a shot not necessarily within the flow, slightly off balance. I saw a couple of off balance 3-point attempts coming off of curl screens at the top there in the last 2-3 games. But that last game versus the Cowboys, Kelvin, I really didn't see anything rushed. So long as Anthony Del Orso sets his feet and shoots with confidence and trusts his mechanics, I think it's going to go in. He just needs to take the right shots within the offense.
Yeah, exactly. Take the right shots. And as a coach, you feel like he's a good shooter. He's usually around a 39 or 42% shooter. So it's a matter of time before he go on another streak. So you go on a missing shot streak, and then you go on a making shot streak. So as a coach, you're thinking that's just right around the corner when you need it. So you're going to continue to trust him as long as he's playing good defense and not turning over the ball.
Anthony Del Orso on the struggles he's gone through and just trying to stay on an even keel.
Yeah, just stay positive, stick to your routine. Keep your checklist like I do, kind of your progressions. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Don't get too behind. Just try and stay level-headed. Don't look at how many teams you got left, how many games. It's one game at a time, one possession at a time, and the right things will happen.
How's it going for you personally, Deli? Just along those lines. You get into the basket doing a lot of other things, but shooting threes sometimes come to go. I mean, how's it been lately?
It's been fine. I mean, this is part of the game. You can't let those statistics bother you. It's going to happen. Everyone goes through it. And like I said, it's just trusting your repetitions, trusting your routine. Staying true to yourself. Don't let anything bother you. And eventually it'll come back because, I know I can shoot. So that's all that matters.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is a confident kid. I don't think he's gone through some struggles this year. He's had to deal maybe with coming off the bench when he thought maybe he might be starting this season, but he stays. I think he's very level-headed. I don't sense there's any struggle. We'll talk about this at length a little bit later because I got a great shot of Tommy kind of talking to Anthony during the game, and I posted about it after the game, and there was a lot of interesting comments that came on, and I'll read some of those for you. But I said after the game, I said a couple of the plays that I like, and we've seen this. And if we go back to, let's first go back to last year when Tommy had, we saw Delly try to play make a little bit, guys, and Tommy kind of said last year, that's not why you're here to do that. You're here to be a jump shooter. This year, though, he's allowing him to maybe be a little bit of a playmaker, and it's times like that we saw him be able to get to the rim. I talked about the one play in the second half where he kind of one-on-one and knocked it in off the glass. Those are the kind of plays I think that when you're not hitting from outside can allow you, like Kelvin said, to start to see that ball and be confident about that ball falling through the basket. Let's hear.
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead, Kelvin.
Oh, no, I just wanted to say, I think that also you got to remember the other team's still going to have him on the scout. So they're still going to respect that, and that's going to open up opportunities for the other guys to get their scores and play well. And also his jump shot is so soft, it doesn't start the fast break for the other team. It opens up opportunities for a guy like Waka and Koa Pete to offensive rebound and score like that. So he's still helping offensively because he drags the defense toward him because they have to guard that three on him just in case he gets going, and the soft touch opens up those opportunities.
Let's hear from Anthony on his ability to attack the paint.
A bunch of rebounding talent, and teams have to worry about inside the paint, more about our bigs. So being a guard and being able to get to the rim kind of one-on-one, you got to be able to do that. And the bigs do a good job of sealing and getting us, wide open layups.
And real quick, just for the record, every single wing player in America has to be a playmaker. So playmakers from the post, that's sometimes more difficult. But everybody who can put the ball on the court and try to get by the first line of defense needs to have their eyes up for cutters, needs to have their eyes up for players in the corners waiting for a catch and shoot. I think what Coach really meant last year is that Delly at the time was the best shooter on the team, and it's a detriment to the team if he's passing up open looks, DK, to try to facilitate. Number one, he needs to look to punish the defense for rotating over on guys like Caleb Love last year and take those open looks when they're there. But this year, what you've seen quite a bit, like he said there in that comment, there's such good dominant offensive rebounding on this year's team that he really can challenge players to come out and challenge him about 8 feet out. So you get past the top line defense at the three-point line, you have that secondary big come up to help you, and if you put that shot up, he's got some nice soft touch right off the backboard from that 45-degree angle. You put that up, DK, if you miss it, the chances of Tobe Awaka, Mo Krivas coming on the backside, Koa Pete, is a higher percentage this year than it was last year. So even more than ever, it's important for him to get his mid-range going. And like we saw last time, keep your eyes up. If you see a cutter, make a good pass. He made two brilliant, probably the two best passes of that game versus Oklahoma State. So he can do a little bit of everything. He just needs to make sure that he, focuses on taking those shots to make the defense pay when he's given an opportunity.
Number 9, Kansas. Number 1, Arizona. It's a top 10 matchup tonight at the Fog Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, Kansas. Tip-off coming up your way at 7 o'clock our time. That'll be 8 o'clock in Lawrence. Much more coming up for you straight ahead. We'll take our first look at tonight's game and a whole lot more. We'll hear from Reggie Geary as well coming up in this first hour from Lawrence. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Advantage Air and Mechanical, Cactus Auto Company, Casino del Sol, Done Right Services, Drain Masters, First Chiropractic, Idaho Central Credit Union, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Royal GMC, Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, The Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Ready to score a new vehicle? Whether you are looking for a new car, truck, or electric vehicle, at Royal Kia, we know exactly what you want. A quality vehicle at a great price and to be treated fairly. We stand by our transparent online pricing, offer a 72-hour buyback guarantee, and you work with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $589 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus, or royalkia.com.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Donna Ogden Nation.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' Cay. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' Cay is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingCay.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
The cold Arizona nights are here. Is your furnace ready? For just $59, Right Way is offering a complete system tune-up, ensuring your furnace runs efficiently to keep your home comfortable all season long. Routine maintenance is key to avoiding costly breakdowns. And with over 11,000 5-star Google reviews, you can trust Right Way to get the job done right. Plus, we'll include a free carbon monoxide test for your peace of mind. Call Right Way today at 520-640-2665 or visit us at rightwayac.com for your $59 complete system tune-up.
Now is the perfect time to start your next home renovation project. At the Window Depot, you get factory direct prices, no installers, no middleman, and serious savings. Windows, doors, cabinets, countertops, all in stock and ready to take home today. Perfect for DIYers and contractors who want to save thousands and get materials fast. Your project, your timeline, the best prices. Shop online at thewindowdepot.com or visit a location near you.
JT Auto, where their customers are family. Stop by their newest East Side location, conveniently located at 6947 East 22nd, just west of Cole. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guarantee, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where their customers are family. 372-7704. That's 372-7704 or jtautoaz.com.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
to Harrison, a new 20 to shoot. To Mayo. Boy, offensive rebounding here late. Lob. Adams slams it home with 1:21 to go. Looks like the Wildcats are not going to foul. And Kansas is going to finish out the regular season with a win on Senior Day. 42nd consecutive Senior Day victory at home for the Jayhawks.
It's time to take our first look at today's game. Brought to you by the Window Depot. The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindow.depot.com.
42 straight wins on Senior Day at home. It's not Senior Day, but get a load of this number here. This is going to be the 39th time that the Kansas Jayhawks have played a, quote, Big Monday game at Fall Allen Fieldhouse. And in the previous 38 of those games, they are 38-0. How about that number right there? This will be meeting number 15 all-time between these two teams, Arizona and Kansas. Jayhawks lead the all-time series 9-5. They split last year, the loss to Kansas in Lawrence, but then Arizona rebounded and beat the Jayhawks a week later in the Big 12 tournament quarterfinals.
I got another number for you.
Oh, give me another number. I like another.
So the Big 12 was founded in 1997.
Yeah.
Kansas has 21 regular season conference titles. The other 20 teams that have been involved have 10.
There you go. We like numbers, especially when they involve the Kansas Jayhawks.
I just mean like they correspond. So you're talking about 38 consecutive Big Mondays. I mean, Kansas has been, I think they won something like 15, 16, 17 consecutive conference titles for a stretch there. So, yeah, I mean, Kansas is going to Kansas. That's what they do.
This is not the first time a number one Arizona team has been into Fall Allen Fieldhouse. 2003, it last happened. And on that night, the Wildcats outscored the Jayhawks 52-22 in the second half of that game.
I think that was one that Salim went crazy, right?
Yeah, that would correlate with that part of the calendar of this century for sure. All right, Arizona and Kansas, the beginning of the gauntlet, 4 games against ranked opponents. So the new rankings came out today. So as of the moment, those games are going to be against 9, 16, 22, and 3. Last week, it was 4 games against top 15 teams. However, Texas Tech and BYU have stumbled a tad since that. So it's now 4 games against top 25 teams.
What's the word? Postulated? You were curious to see if BYU would fall because that's their 4th consecutive loss, right?
Right, yeah.
Right. So, but no, they hang strong at 22. Yeah. They got a great resume other than those 4 recent losses.
Interestingly, Tommy Lloyd, again, there's going to be a lot of big games coming up here in the month of February in this conference. Tommy Lloyd talked about how that was kind of the way that Brett Yormark and his team on the basketball side set it up.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's no doubt about it. Like, listen, the Big 12 is a powerhouse basketball conference. And, Brett Yormark is a basketball guy. And he's fully embraced that narrative. And as part of that, I mean, he's trying to create value for his members, schools. And one of the ways you create value is you have important games in great, viewing windows. And so they wanted to get as many marquee games as they could in February. I mean, obviously, they told us that. And look at our schedule. They delivered. So I'm excited for the opportunities coming down the pipe. And, there's no, we're not mad at anybody or feel like it's unfair. I mean, if you want to be a great program and you want to be a participant in a great conference, well, you gotta be willing to walk the walk. So our walk is playing a lot of high-level games in the month of February leading into March. So let's do it.
6 of Arizona's final 8 games. They'll play just 18 games this year in the conference, Big 12 conference schedule. 6 of Arizona's final 8 games will be against ranked opponents. Right now, 4 of those 6 games will be against teams currently in the top 10.
We love it. Kelvin and I remember many of the reputation of Arizona past their first Final Four and past Salim and Damon and Khalid's Final Four were some first round exits, right? And to me, it's impossible to figure out why that happened, right? You can't point to one thing or two things. There's a lot of factors. However, Kelvin, one factor is when you're dominant in your conference and you don't see challenges late in the season, and Mike Montgomery and Lute Olson have voted against the postseason conference tournament. So there is no postseason conference tournament. There are no 3 games in 3 days type of setups going into March, Kelvin. I much prefer to see great teams late in a season to keep that, keep sharp and to make sure that you're doing what you need to do, because playing teams that you have 25, 30 point margins over late in the season doesn't help you stay as sharp as possible going into March. So, Kelvin, to me, I love this so much. Seeing all these NCAA level Sweet 16, Elite 8, potentially Final Four level teams late in the season can only help the team stay focused.
That's exactly right, and it can only help with recruiting, because when kids see that they can be in games like that, wait till they see these games on TV. They're gonna. I've seen a couple guys at the Oklahoma State game that was here on recruiting visits or whatnot. So wait till they're able to see these games. These are the reasons you get those type of guys, because they want to play in big time games like that. And I was on one of those teams who lost in the first round, and we went in soft. We went in soft because we dominated the Pac-12. The toughest games were practice. The toughest games were practice. And at the end of the year, it's hard to have those type of practice, right, J-Dub?
Yeah, no doubt. You get sick of each other.
Yeah. So I just think that, U of A is in a great situation, man. It doesn't even matter what happens at this point. You don't want to go on a losing streak, but everything from here in on out is a great learning lesson, getting you ready for the actual tournament.
Both Jaden Bradley and Anthony Del Orso were on that team last year that went into Lawrence, Kansas, and fell 88-77. What they remember about that trip, the first Big 12 trip into the Fog?
It's crazy in there. It's hard to hear yourself, and their fans are crazy. Kansas is a great program. They have a great team this year, so it's going to be a tough atmosphere. But I feel like we're going to go out there and handle business for sure.
Anthony, do you feel that the atmospheres you face this year, plus having already been there, makes you better prepared for that environment this time around?
Yeah, of course. You go in those environments, night in, night out. The Big 12's been great at that, getting you ready for, down on the run when you get to those Sweet 16s and Final Fours. The atmosphere only gets bigger. So Kansas has a great atmosphere, and we'll be ready for it.
All right, before we hear from the Kansas head coach, Bill Self, on this game tonight, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day.
Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
Along with Kelvin Efon and JW Madden, I'm David Kelly. It's Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, getting you set for U of A and Kansas tonight at the Fog Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence. Number 1 versus number 11 on Big Monday. Bill Self, I mentioned, has never lost a Big Monday home game. 38-0. That's just absolutely nuts. Talked about the pressure that this game is going to provide tonight.
Monday is the most fun game that we would have had so far this year, and hopefully there's much bigger games later on in this game. But to date, it'll be the biggest. They're men, they dominate people 12 foot and in. We got to play, bigger. We got to play tougher. We got to play stronger. We got to play smarter, and then they guard. And so we got to give them something to defend on the other end. But it'll be a fun game. It'll be a fun atmosphere. Only one day to prep. But hopefully we can figure something out to at least slow them down.
And how did the Jayhawks spend that one day of prep?
We practiced for Arizona last this past Wednesday, but it wasn't serious. But how we're going to guard the post, how you're going to guard ball screens, different things. But we'll have something in place, obviously by the time we work out tomorrow. But we'll practice 30 minutes tomorrow and let it roll on Monday.
So what he said there at the top was they did work in some practice, some of Arizona's stuff into their practice late last week. Kelvin, you would have to. I mean, you can't go into a game against the top team in the country on one Sunday practice.
Yeah, no, and you saw that they saw the schedule, months in advance, so they knew that it was going to be like that. So smart coaches prepare for that, and they start. You're building your offenses, you're building your defenses already, stuff that you're using because you're not going to come up with something brand new. You're just going to emphasize more in something that you're already using defensively or offensively. So yeah, no, they are. You have to put in a little time with it, especially with such a short day in between the games.
Yeah. So when Coach Self and Coach Lloyd are asked in a post-game press conference, DK, about the next game, and they say, I'm worried about Oklahoma State. I ain't worried about Kansas. You know why? Because they are. But you ever wonder, listeners, why there's 15 people behind the bench? Because there's a lot of pre-scouting that goes on, and there's a lot of scouting that goes on regardless of what the focus is. The focus will always be game to game. But yeah, DK, they've obviously been trying to put something together behind the scenes because you have to have a special idea of what you want to do with this Arizona front court, regardless of your body. So they have the film. As you heard Coach Lutz say, what did he say? He watched 11 Arizona Wildcats games this year.
Yeah.
So a lot of these guys, they're familiar with what Arizona's bringing. They have a general idea. How many years is Coach Self? I mean, he's been at Kansas for 20 plus. He was at Illinois before that, right? I mean, he's been around the game for 3 decades. He understands exactly what's coming in. They don't need to, reinvent the wheel to come up with a game plan to face Arizona. But Kelvin, I mean, they've had some kind of idea of any kind of extra, anything they need to tweak slightly to their base defense. They've already been putting that together behind the scenes, even though they're obviously focused on Utah and the other games they had to play.
Exactly. That's your job. Like you said, that's what all those coaches over there for. Those coaches are scouting games out at almost, I guarantee you, 6 or 7 games. Each one of those coaches get a game. He's always talking about Murph. He always shouting out Murph scouts. A lot of the time, Murph that did a great scout of that game. But all those coaches' job is to scout those games and get ready before and already kind of be thinking of the matchups and the different techniques that they're going to be using. So, yeah, man, this is the only thing I think can really help Kansas today is that we get in foul trouble.
There you go. There you go. Darren Peterson, we'd love to see him in some foul trouble. We had A.J. Debonsa, I should say, a few weeks ago. Now you get the guy that is at the other end of that. Who is the best college basketball player in the country conversation? This is a young man who didn't play for the better part of the first 10 games due to some injury issues. He has found his stride, though. They have found their stride now that he is back in the lineup. Maybe not a good game last time out, but still averaging 21 points, a ball game this season. Let's hear from Bill South on Darren Peterson, a few recent struggles, and dealing with cramping, which has plagued him all season.
I didn't think he had a good week. Thought he was unbelievable against BYU for a half, and Texas Tech got through it today, but there wasn't much pop or energy like there needs to be. So he's got to be a lot better. We all do.
Bill, Darren's played a lot more in the last few games. Has it been improving the situation with cramps, or is it too early to tell, or is he just kind of playing through it a little more?
No, I don't. He's not having it. Okay. Yeah. So I don't see. I haven't been told anything that he's had anything the last 2 games.
Guys, it's very interesting. He did not play at all against Utah. He played just 12 minutes at Texas Tech. He played just 4 minutes against BYU. I mean, it seems like it's getting whatever's ailing him has crept back into the conversation and seems to be getting worse.
Actually, I'm sorry. He played 34 versus Utah. And 35 versus Texas Tech. What I've read more recently. I'm looking
at I apologize.
No. Yeah, more recently, I've heard the opposite. What I've heard is when he first came in, Kelvin, he actually was pretty healthy. And then that stretch in November, he sat out quite a bit of practices. That obviously cramping issue he's had been pulled from games. But DK, what I've read more recently is that they might have got it dialed in. I don't know, potassium bananas or whatever they're doing, but 35 minutes versus Texas Tech and 34 versus BYU or versus Utah in the last 2 games, I believe are the 2 most minutes totals he's had all season long. And Kelvin, I mean, you're the one who probably should break it down, but to me, If I had to pick the best offensive basketball player in all of America, it's probably Darren Peterson.
Yeah, to me, it's not even close, man. I mean, so, and I don't even, I mean, I'll be honest with you, we have to talk about this, about him missing games, but he's not missing this game. I guarantee you put 35 in this one. So if we're talking about the rest of the season, maybe we could discuss which games he's going to pick and choose to play. I always say he's on that Kyrie Irving plan like he had at Duke. Coach and them want to really take care of him. They understand that he shouldn't even be in college. That kid right there could already be in the NBA.
You know, he was a top 5 pick out of high school if he came out. Yeah.
Yes. So what I'm saying is I just think his conditioning is down from the injuries. He only played 13 games, so your game conditioning is not going to be that high. And so therefore you get cramps because he's playing hard. And they're probably figuring out how to make sure he get the right intake of fluids and everything. So that's the reason why his minutes are going up. And also his minutes are going up because it's getting down to the time to where you don't really need him. So like I said, he's going to need 30, 35 a day.
They need a healthy Darren Peterson to make a run. I mean, this entire roster, DK, is built around his ability to get his own. And so that's the biggest issue right now, I think, with Kansas is that you look at their record, they've got 5 losses. They're also the 11th ranked team in the country because based on talent alone, I mean, we'll talk all about Flory Badunga, but he may be the best defensive player in all of America. So you're talking about a team that potentially could have the best offensive player in America, the best defensive player in America. It's really just Darren Peterson's health, some continuity issues they've had along the way. But when those guys are firing all cylinders, I mean, that is one of the top 5 rosters in America. And I think it's an abundance of precaution as far as Darren Peterson's concerned because they need him in the Big 12 tournament and beyond in order to have any kind of success like Kansas is used to. So they want to make sure he can sit out games in November and December and January just to make sure that he's as healthy as possible when they really, really need him to get buckets.
All right, we'll get a break in here. We'll come back. We'll chat with Reggie Geary about the game tonight in Lawrence, number 11 Wildcat, number 11 Kansas Jayhawks, and the number 1 Wildcats. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. That is your first look at tonight's game.
That's our first look at the game. Brought to you by the Window Depot. The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindow.depot.com. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
And don't forget, Window Depot also sponsors tonight's Window Depot Glass Cleaner of the game. It's the best rebounding performance every night by your Arizona Wildcats. Could be from the other team if the other team wins the game. Has not happened yet so far this season. Who's going to be the Wildcat with the most rebounds? Might be the U of A star with the most impactful boards. We'll tell you the Window Depot Glass Cleaner of the game coming up tonight on the post-game show. Much more straight ahead. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Everyone loves a backyard barbecue, but who has the time? I'm Josh Bishop, owner of Fork and Fire in Oro Valley and Catalina. My brother, best friend, and I have been cooking for one another and our neighbors for years, and we still get to live our passion every day at Fork and Fire. In Oro Valley, you'll discover bold, smoky brisket, ribs, pulled pork, and many creative dishes paired with local craft beers on tap and specialty cocktails. Fork and Fire, your neighborhood backyard barbecue, where great food meets good times and strong community. Join us today at Fork and Fire, Oro Valley, and in Catalina.
Life's busy. Errands, kids, work, the I-10 grind. Who's got time to sit at a detail shop?
That's why Recon Auto Detailing comes to me. Mobile detailing keeps my car spotless without losing a minute of my day.
From mobile washes to in-shop ceramic coatings, tint, and paint protection, we're Tucson's one-stop shop for keeping your ride looking new. Convenience, care, confidence, that's Recon Auto Detailing. Ceramic Pro West, Tucson.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up, It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation. Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put members' success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
Now that's what I call savings. If you're looking for a real truck, get up to $7,500 off a new 2026 Chevy Silverado, plus up to $2,500 off a 2026 Chevy Equinox, and $8,500 off the Equinox EV. It's all happening now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Truck tough deals, real savings. Call us at 747-8000 or see us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall or on the web at O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Coach, Tommy Lloyd here with the Right Way team.
Thinking about replacing your heating and air system? It's February at Right Way.
These are some of the slowest months of the year. We have equipment in stock and our crews are available.
And we're including an 80% furnace absolutely free with the purchase of an air conditioning system.
And if that's not enough, we're offering up to 60 months no interest financing, manufacturer and energy efficiency rebates, and 10-year parts and labor warranty.
Call or text 520-200-2422 today or visit rightwayac.com.
If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
On Jukas, ball knocked away, loose. A walk of the steal ahead to Bradley the other way. Bradley, another slam dunk.
Just turning over a frustrated Oklahoma State offensive team, inability to get into any flow, and the Wildcats just take advantage.
It's time now for us to take you down to the front row of the arena. A view from courtside is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser serving Southern Arizona over 30 years.
And tonight, that view for Reggie Geary is at Fog Allen Fieldhouse, number 11, Kansas, number 1, Arizona. Chatting with Reggie Geary now, Arizona basketball class of 1996. Reggie is a guy that played a lot of defense, largely believed to be and considered one of the best defenders in school history, program history. What were your takeaways from the defensive performance on Saturday?
Yeah, well, first of all, guys, thanks for having me on. Always a pleasure. Yeah, what can I say? Arizona, as we all know, is rolling this year, undefeated, and that was just a straight beatdown they put on Oklahoma State. Just defensively, just frustrated them, just took them out of everything they wanted to do in actuality. I hate to say it looked like Oklahoma State kind of quit there a little bit, just dejected, had no answers on either end of the floor, and that's what this Arizona team can do to you. I mean, they're just so good, they're so big, so much quality that at some point you just want to go home.
Reggie, the thing I said after the game, the thing that kind of stood out to me was just the sheer astonishment a couple times that Oklahoma State realized that, look, the shot clock's out. We got to shoot the basketball. It was almost like, they just kept throwing it around. And it was like before they knew it, there was no shot clock left to make another pass.
Yeah, with Arizona's ability to switch and really extend out their pressure on the perimeter, it's just hard to find answers. And, they can just frustrate people. And they're going to have to do that tonight. This KU matchup is going to be tremendous. Probably the two top defensive teams, 2 of the 3 top defensive teams with Houston, 1 and 2 in terms of field goal percentage defense, 2s and 3s. And so defense is going to be a huge part of tonight's game.
Yeah, what are you seeing, Reggie, in the way that Kansas defends that makes them so good?
Athletes. When I watch them on film and watch them this year, they fly around. There's a lot of discussion about how this might be one of Bill Self's best defensive teams, and I just think it's the length that they have on the perimeter. They seem to be engaged and care about it, and they understand their recent success is based a lot of ball on their defense.
We're chatting with Reggie Geary. He is the radio analyst for the Arizona men's basketball team. He is also a guard, class of 1996. It is your view from courtside. It's brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser has been serving Arizona now for over 30 years. Reggie, I want to go back to Saturday. Obviously, the 2001 team from the Final Four and national finalists were in town. I'm sure you got a chance to rub shoulders with a few of those guys. What was fun just about that weekend and the way that it kind of came off? Give us kind of an overview of how it went.
Yeah, anytime you're getting some of these teams back, especially a team that, went to the championship game in terms of that 01 team, and they're back at home in McHale and on campus, it's always a great sight and something we love to see. And to have Eugene and Justin Wessel and Anderson and Ash and Jason Gardner and all those guys, kind of get their flowers was cool. And, I knew Luke and Richard. I knew Richard wanted to be there, and he had a last-second thing, and Luke was in the NBA. So it was nice to see them on the board. But just a nice weekend. The guys get a chance to go back to the locker room and kind of see, where the program is going and get to meet the newest cats and kind of rub shoulders with them. And I know they appreciate that. And Tommy had the guys in the room for the pregame speech. So, they got a lot of access. They got to show their love. They got to receive a little love. So that's always nice.
Yeah, it's always, again, and we'll hear coming up a little bit later from Jaden Bradley just on being around that environment, being around the team like that, and how that kind of rubs off on today's players. It's just great to have the legacies of this program shining through from years to years, no question about that. Reggie, as we get into, obviously, now this stretch of games coming up. I mean, you got 4 games coming up against top 25 opponents. Tommy has preached all season long. We're not looking ahead past any other team. Every team, Jaden even came out this year and said we believe every team on the schedule is the number 1 team in the country. Does that make it easier then to get through these games when you've got coming up that there's not going to be any nights off coming up right for the next 6 weeks really?
Yeah, that's one of the things about playing at Arizona. You always have a target on your back, and obviously this year's team being, unanimous number 1 the last 4 weeks and where they're at. They know they know every night they come, they're going to get the other team's a best effort. They need to be ready for that. And Coach Tommy Lloyd has said multiple times, hey, we want that smoke. Like, we want this. That's why we come here. That's why I coach here. That's why players come here, because, we want every night to get everyone's best, and then have kind of a schedule like we're seeing now, where we're being showcased in the Big 12, where it's going to be night after night in this month of February, going into the league tournament of playing just top 25 teams. And so this team's, they're built for it. They've done a great job of just keeping their heads down to this point, taking it one opponent at a time. But tonight there's going to be a little extra juice. Allen Fieldhouse, Fog, that whole atmosphere is just electric. So they're going to be a little juiced up tonight.
Kelvin Evon joins us now. Kelvin, you have a question.
Yeah, Red. So remember when we played Kansas in the Sweet 16?
I do, unfortunately, yes.
Yes. Well, you know what I was going to say? That Kansas team reminds me a lot of this team in the way it was constructed and the way that they used to play back in the day. Remember, they had big 7-foot Rafe LaFrance, 7-foot Scott Pollard, Paul Pierce at 6'7", Jock Vaughn, and Jared Haas. Right, and we were the smaller team, kind of like Kansas is right now, with 6'9" Ben Davis. Corey Williams was playing power forward because we didn't have Joseph Blair at the time. Really needed him that game, right? But 6'7" Corey Williams and 6'6" Joe McLean. Do you see any similarities in that? Because I think Kansas is real small, and I think they're vulnerable on the inside. They got the great athletes, like you said, but I just think they're vulnerable to that size. So I think, do you see any correlation to those teams?
Yeah, what you said there, Kelvin, I think is spot on. When you go back and look at that KU team back in '96, which what I heard was a lot of pros. They had a lot of talent, size. They had a lot of quality, like very similar to what we have right now at Arizona. And so, that's one of the big things for tonight's contest. When you look at the KU team, their bench, in terms of bench production, they are almost almost bottom of the Division I in NCAA in terms of they only get 12 points from their entire bench. And so it's really 5 versus 8 in my mind. And when you talk about that front court, they really only play Flory Badunga and the young freshman Bryson Tiller, both very, very good players, but that's really their entire front court. So I think it's their 2 versus our 3 when we look at the front courts, and we're bigger, we're stronger, we have more fouls there, and guys are more productive. So to your point, Kelvin, I think that's a focus that I think Arizona will be going inside. So I think everyone should be looking at the rebound totals tonight, especially on the offensive rebound. If Arizona's able to take advantage like they have all year, man, that's a good sign for the Cats.
It is Reggie Geary. He is the guard for the Arizona Wildcats. It is your view from courtside. It's brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser has been serving Arizona now for over 30 years. When you look at Darren Peterson, Reggie, what kind of ball player do you see there?
I see a special one. I think everyone recognizes that he's an elite level scorer. He's supposed to be, they're projecting him to be the number 1 pick in the draft coming up, and you could see the reason why. He's an elite level scorer, very different than A.J. DeBonsa in the fact that he's much more efficient. He seems to be a better shooter from both the 2 and the 3. And so here's a guy, he's had some cramping issues, some ankle injuries, so being on the floor has been a problem for him. But when he's on the floor for 13 games, every game he scored double figures. He's averaging 20 points. And so, he's going to get his tonight to a degree. It's just a matter of how does he get it. I think Arizona did a good job all year of defending without fouling, making guys make shot. I thought what they did against BYU will be similar to what they do tonight in terms of, going against an elite level scorer.
There we go. Reggie and Brian will have the call coming up for you just shortly here in Tucson at 7 o'clock. Reggie, I always appreciate the opportunity to chat with you and have a great call with Brian tonight.
No, I appreciate it. Everybody get the popcorn ready. It's going to be a big Monday. So we look for the support there in Tucson.
Did you hear Bill Self has never lost at home on Big Monday? He's 38-0.
I know. There's no better reason to get a W than, right?
There you go. There you go. Reggie, appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, DK.
That's your view from courtside.
We hope you enjoyed your view from courtside. It was brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser has been serving Southern Arizona for over 30 years. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Advantage Air and Mechanical, Cactus Auto Company, Casino del Sol, Done Right Services, Drain Masters, First Chiropractic, Idaho Central Credit Union, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Royal GMC, Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, The Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Looking for quality windows without the wait? Come to the Window Depot. We carry a huge selection of Milgard windows, in stock now and ready for pickup. Need something custom? No problem. From new construction to full home replacement, we'll help you order the perfect Milgard windows built to fit your space, style, and budget. Whether you're a homeowner or contractor, the Window Depot makes it easy to get the windows you need fast. Visit thewindowdepot.com to find a location near you and see why we're your Milgard window experts.
Hi, this is Natalie Fernandez at Meridian Wealth Management, and one of the hardest things I witness is when someone passes and they hadn't updated their beneficiaries properly beforehand. We all experience change in our lives, marriage, divorce, kids, and we work very hard for what we have. Leaving your legacy exactly the way you desire is important. This is your reminder to review all of your beneficiary designations today and at least annually. Seek guidance if you need it. Call our office at 520-719-1433 for more information.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
The dice are hot and the cash is calling at Casino del Sol. Every day, swipe your Club Sol card for a free entry into our Friday drawings at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., and 8 p.m. Plus, every 250 slot or table points gets you an extra entry. If your name is drawn, you'll step up and roll the dice. And if you hit 5 of a kind, you'll take home $5,000 in cool cash. Only at Casino del Sol. Enterprise of the Bosco Yaqui Tribe.
Hey, man. It's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. But I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rocking K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rocking K, with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Back your hometown favorite. Get your very own exclusive University of Arizona debit card from Hughes Federal Credit Union. Pair your new card with a free checking account that earns dividends with no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and convenient 24/7 online and mobile banking. Visit one of our 7 convenient branch locations to get your card instantly or open an account online at hughesfcu.org/wildcats. Show your Wildcat spirit all year long with Hughes Federal Credit Union. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Bradley down, into the lane, lay it up and good. Previous turnaround jump hook is good. Del Orso springs a 3 out there and drains it. Milwaukee takes away the rebound and slams it home.
It's a man's game.
Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of University of Arizona basketball continues with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to tip off for Arizona Wildcats basketball. This is Wildcats Radio, 1290.
I mean, we're excited. I mean, we're going in there with nothing but respect, for Kansas and Coach Self. I mean, we played there last year, and I'll be honest. I mean, I played in a lot of places. I came away there thinking, all right, it is different, but nothing but positive thoughts for them as a program, and it's going to be an honor to compete against them. We know it's going to be we know they're going to give us an incredible game, and it's going to be an awesome atmosphere, and I just have a feeling those Jayhawk fans are going to be out for blood. So you know what, we're here for it. We're here for it, and that's no promise of which way the game's going to go, but we're excited for the opportunity to compete in such a big stage and such a special game.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, women's basketball used to say we're made for it. Tommy likes to say we're here for it. Arizona, number 1 team in the country, 9th-ranked Kansas tonight. Coming up at Fog Allen Fieldhouse. Hour number 2 of our pregame show. Glad you could be with us at 520-848-1290. That's the number if you want to get in on the program. You can call us. You can text us to provide your contribution to the chatter tonight around Arizona basketball. Coming up in hour number 2, we're going to shine a spotlight on a cat. It was the celebration of the 2001 team that went to the Final Four, the last team to get to that stage. Here from the University of Arizona, Ryan Hansen caught up with Justin Wessel and Ricky Anderson. You'll hear that conversation. DK with TL. My questions this week to the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats, brought to you by Hughes Federal Credit Union. We'll talk a little bit about Toby Awaka and some of the things that he's doing on the floor besides grabbing rebounds. We'll check the college scoreboard. It is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers. Brian Haney, the voice of the Kansas Jayhawks, has your scouting report. Brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Who will be that Jayhawk that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin tonight? Essential Pest Control presents your pest of the game. Casino del Sol hoping you do not beat the book, but we are going to keep trying. Everybody's in the positives this year, or at least on our staff, in terms of beating the book. Arizona, 1.5-point favorite tonight in Lawrence. Your over-under comes in at 153.5. Royal Automotive has your keys to the game. Rocking K presents your starting lineup, and nobody is presenting your availability report for today, but we will give that to you as well before we get out of here in the next 2 hours. Again, the number 520-848-1290 is the phone number if you want to get in on the program. Let's shine a spotlight on some Wildcats.
Our pregame show Spotlight on a Cat is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
It was a celebration of the 2001 team this past weekend that got to the national championship game, one of only 2 teams in school history that has reached the final night of the college basketball season. We talked to Jason Gardner last week. You heard from John Ash, who grew up here in Tucson. Ryan Hansen caught up with a couple of more guys from this weekend, Justin Wessel and Ricky Anderson. Let's hear that conversation and how they felt about being back here in Tucson.
Arizona is celebrating the 25th anniversary of the 2001 Final Four team. Here with Ricky Anderson and Justin Wessel. Guys, how does it feel to be back? Are we this old, first of all? Second of all, how great does it feel to be back?
So good to be back. So great to see people like yourself. Not so much stick. I'm just kidding. No, it's awesome to be back. To answer the main question, it makes me feel very old. 25 years.
Stick, how's it feel to be back?
It feels nostalgic. Yep. Walking through the halls, seeing my old teammates, just being in the present moment, I'm like, what the heck is going on? I am getting old, too old.
What are some of your memories? Let's start basketball-wise. So obviously national title run, but is there one memory from a basketball game or a moment that steps out to you, Justin?
I remember specifically about this season because, as everyone knows, we were preseason number 1 in the nation, and we had the whole Bobby Olson situation. I think at one point we were like 8-5, ranked like 20-something in the nation. And I remember being on the bus, and we were all just like laughing, like, how are we 8-5? We have like 7 NBA players. And I still remember that feeling. It was like no one panicked because we knew it was going to take some time. But I just remember thinking, we are 8-5? How the hell are we 8-5? We're the best team in the country.
Yeah, Ricky Anderson, what about you?
I just think going into a 15-degree state of Connecticut and watching Lauren Woods get a call against him, and Coach Roz in the locker room, his face, I swear, it was like a tomato on steroids. And then, I mean, that was one of my favorite memories. I was redshirting at the time, so I got to be the scout team for Shane Batty and all that. So, like, I get to see this team grow in 2001. And that's what the team is doing now. They're just growing, and they play together. And that's with the whole portal thing. It's beautiful to see a team that doesn't think of themselves, individually, where they're playing as a team, they're giving the ball, they're sharing the ball, and it's all about that camaraderie, and they have it this year. Yeah, it's beautiful to watch.
I'll dovetail into that, Jay Wees. When you think about, I would say the 01 team was the most talented team ever in Arizona basketball history, but from the inside, very connected, great chemistry, great friends still to this day. Talk about that chemistry.
Yeah, I think, going back to how we were preseason number 1 and then 8-5, I don't think you dig out of that and get to a Final Four in a national championship game without having that connection. And, even though not everybody's here today, it's like literally the text chain is going nuts with the guys that aren't here, that couldn't be here, wishing they were here. And I think, I know other people that played college basketball, they haven't talked to teammates they played with for 15, 20 years. So it is unique. And I'm not just, it's easy to say because we're here, but I got enough people in my life that played sports, even other people that played sports in Arizona,
right,
U of A, that don't have the connection that group has.
All right, the 2001 team back here 25 years later. Justin Wessel, Ricky Anderson. Thanks, guys. Great to see you.
Thanks, Rhino.
That's today's Spotlight on a Cat, brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
All right, great to hear from all those guys this past weekend. Always great to celebrate past teams here at the University of Arizona. And as you heard Rhino say, one of the best teams to ever come through here, coming up just one win short of winning the program's second national championship. 520-848-1290 is the number to get on the program. Jaden Bradley talked about his takeaways from being around that 2001 team this past weekend.
It just makes us feel like we're bigger than bigger than ourselves. They honored it when they played, and so we're grateful to put this jersey on. And we know that we got to honor Tucson by down the line getting the Final Four, getting the Sweet 16. But right now we got to take it game by game.
Tommy Lloyd on what bringing past heroes like that back to town can do for his program and his team.
Those guys are around. They were around. They were in the locker room kind of throughout the day today, and before the game, halftime, after the game. One of the great things about this program is it's when you play with this program, you play for this program. It's something that sticks with you for the rest of your life, and you're going to always be a special part of what we do. And we want to make sure that our former players and our alumni feel a connection, and our current players understand how important that is, because our current players are going to have that connection with our future players. I mean, it's not a complicated thing, and honestly, it brings a lot of joy to all of us.
What does it do for the locker room, your guys, when former players come and visit the campus?
That's a great question. I think it helps our guys realize how special it is to play at Arizona, because those former players, they reinforce it to them. I think our guys, it gives them perspective that, you're not always going to be young. You're not always going to be the player. Pretty soon you're going to be the fan or the parent, and you're going to have something to root for and cheer for, and you're going to have a team you're still a part of, even when your playing days are done. And that's a powerful thing. When you go on these journeys, you're going to hit some bumps in the road, some challenges. You got to have a vision of something much bigger than yourself. You have to have a vision beyond today. And I think having those former players around kind of helps cement that vision and give our guys a visual of like, yeah, this is pretty cool that I'm part of something bigger myself, and it's something that's going to be a part of me for my rest of my life. So you know what? I'm going to be willing to give everything I got and more while I'm a player here, because I know it's something, these are memories I'm going to have for the rest of my life.
Kelvin, your son was at the game. KJ was at the game. I know he met some of the current players and took some pictures. I saw Anthony Delorso, Jaden Bradley, of course, his cousin Anthony Roy from Oklahoma State. Did he get a chance to meet any of those OGs?
No, not any of the guys that were here this time, because he had actually went to go get food when I went down, kind of hollered at a couple of guys during that time. So he didn't, but he knows several other guys just because of my relationships, the Jason Terrys, the AJ Bramleys, the Coreys, and all these guys, and he really respects it. I mean, and he also respects the love that he gets when he tells the guys, my dad used to play for the U of A. He always tell them that my dad used to play for the U of A. So and they act like they know me when I know they don't know me, but they act like they know me, and it just makes them feel good about itself. You know what I'm saying? So no, it's a beautiful thing. And I just wanted to say this. I remember back when I was playing, Khalid Reeves, Damon still was playing with, but Khalid Reeves, Steve Kerr. I mean, just all the guys that would come back, and yeah, it makes you understand that you got to get to a Final Four, you got to get to a championship, or they're not gonna bring you back.
Yeah.
And have so that's what you're looking at when you look at that. Coach, I'm sure he explained to him, though, the reason why they're acknowledging this team is that they got to a Final Four, they got to a championship game. Those are the people that get invited back for these opportunities and these type of situations where they can be honored in front of everybody. So it's another learning lesson, because I was on the Sweet 16 and they don't want to invite back Sweet 16 teams. So yeah, you got to win, man. I mean, and I think everybody is accepted around the program because, again, like Coach said, if you got players on the team, you want them to know that, yeah, that's going to be you one day, and you want to be respected as well. And I've never ran into any of the guys, because we deal with a lot of those guys at the Tucson Summer Pro League. They come through and take pictures with the kids and give their support to the community. And every one of them I ever met have been total gentlemen, great guys. The coaches have done a great job of recruiting these guys here.
To me, I wasn't really there for Pete Williams. I was like 8. But the 87-88 team, DK, that was me being 13-14, right? So that was my wheelhouse. And I'll tell you one thing. I've never to this day seen a team that loved each other as much, that wanted success for each other as much. So to me, that era of the early to mid 80s started that family idea of what Arizona basketball is all about. Now, some of those names, Steve Kerr, Sean Elliott, went on to great things. How about Kenny Lofton? How about Harvey Mason, right? There's a lot of guys, DK, who went on to great things outside of the basketball arena, and that camaraderie, that family, the family values, giving back to the community and all those things instilled from that era. Kelvin, to me, it's just each class year after year after year are building upon that Arizona family, and it's never changed. It's always been that same thing. You come back, you're always going to be welcome. We're always going to be Wildcats.
And I wanted to add Matt Mewbach, man, because he always gave me so much love, and always gave me so much love over the years. And Bobby Elliott, man, I just go on and on. The love, even from the guys from the Snowden era, just the love, man, and the respect that you get from all those guys. I always tell people, like, one of my biggest honors in life is that Coach Olsen picked me as a guy to give a scholarship to. And I didn't get a lot of minutes over my first 2 years, which a lot of guys didn't. If you go back in history and look, you had to earn your way, back in them days, because there was so many talented guys. But one of the things that is at the top of, winning championship 12-1 captain and all that stuff is that I was one of the guys that Coach Olsen picked to give a scholarship to and bring to Tucson.
Arizona, number 1 in the country, against number 9 Kansas, coming up at Fog Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence. Wildcats 23-0 to start the season, a Big 12 conference and Arizona record. It matches the longest winning streak of any kind in Big 12 history. Baylor won 23 in a row back in 2019-20, so another record on the table tonight. The Wildcats, one of only 2 undefeated teams in the country right now. Miami of Ohio is that other team. Stefano Rocchi checks in on our Twitter account. He said, this is the only live game I'm going to be able to see all year long. He just checked in at the Hampton Inn north of campus, and he's heading over to Free State Brewing Company to get his pregame on. And has heard that the Kansas City alumni chapter, the UVA alumni chapter from Kansas City, going to be there in full force as well tonight at Fog Allen Fieldhouse. So great to see. It's going to be one to watch for sure, and we'll have it for you right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Let's get another break in when we come back. My questions to the head coach this week, DK with TL, plus we'll check the scoreboard. It's Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. Arizona, number 1 in the country, 9th-ranked Kansas, 7 o'clock tip-off at Fog Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, Kansas. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Bear Down Roofing, Dorado Rock, Essential Pest Control, Goodfellas AC, Hughes Federal Credit Union, Johnson Manley Company, JT Auto, Lexus of Tucson, Mr. Rooter, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking K, a master planned community designed by nature, Factory Direct Mattress, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
The cold Arizona nights are here. Is your furnace ready? For just $59, Right Way is offering a complete system tune-up, ensuring your furnace runs efficiently to keep your home comfortable all season long. Routine maintenance is key to avoiding costly breakdowns. And with over 11,000 5-star Google reviews, you can trust Right Way to get the job done right. Plus, we'll include a free carbon monoxide test for your peace of mind. Call Right Way today at 520-640-2665 or visit us at rightwayac.com for your $59 complete system tune-up.
Ready to score a new vehicle? Whether you are looking for a new car, truck, or electric vehicle, at Royal Kia, we know exactly what you want. A quality vehicle at a great price and to be treated fairly. We stand by our transparent online pricing, offer a 72-hour buyback guarantee, and you work with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $589 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus, or RoyalKia.com.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you.
First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No. They use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope. Only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put members' success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Now is the perfect time to start your next home renovation project. At the Window Depot, you get factory direct prices, no installers, no middleman, and serious savings. Windows, doors, cabinets, countertops, all in stock and ready to take home today. Perfect for DIYers and contractors who want to save thousands and get materials fast. Your project, your timeline, the best prices. Shop online at thewindowdepot.com or visit a location near you.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was, and even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price. You know it. Your neighbors know it.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Rebound buries it to Karchinkov, off to Bradley, who will slam it down with the right hand.
Air Bradley on runway number 1, ready for takeoff.
Couple of slam dunks for Jaden Bradley in that game on Saturday, 84-47. The Arizona Wildcats knocked off the Oklahoma State Cowboys. The talk was defense, but that was an exciting thing that happened on the offensive side of things for Arizona. Tommy Lloyd on Jaden Bradley's dunks and how his teammates reacted to that.
I mean, I think our guys love that. You know, our guys love JB, and they all looked up to him as a person and a player. So, you know, when he does that, you know, the unk of the group, you know, so to speak, I think the guys get pretty excited for him, and yeah, it's fun to see.
Yeah, Jaden Bradley being aggressive to the basket when he gets his opportunities. Anthony Del Orso also commenting on his dunking ability.
Pretty wild. You never know if they're going to actually go, but they're always spectacular. Pretty exciting. You kind of see it building, like, you know, you see the crowd stand up and you see the, you know, people flooding back, and then all of a sudden he gets it and he just takes off, and yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I was sitting, I think, in the perfect angle for it, honestly. It was a lot of fun.
Guys, Jaden Bradley is averaging 14 points per game this year for the Wildcats, but in the games against top 25 opponents so far this season, he is averaging 20 points and shooting 56% from the floor. So you got to believe this is going to be a Jaden Bradley type game. And if the Wildcats are going to win tonight, his imprint is going to be all over this at the offensive end of the floor.
Well, we always talk about it. To win big time in college basketball, you got to have big time guards. You got to have guards that can go create their own shot, especially when you're playing against the shot blockers and you're playing against some of these athletic teams or teams that have the bigs like the Connecticuts and the Floridas of the world. So you have to have a guy, that can just make things happen. For your guys to make it easier on them, because a lot of guys, you get in these big games like this, things get real tight in that paint. Teams understand that the way you lose is giving up easy twos and giving up layups, so they try to take that away by having shot blockers, by having athletic guys trying to stay in front of you. So your guards are going to have to be able to create and be able to make some shots outside of the offense to keep that defense honest.
Yeah, that last point to me, DK, is the biggest. Because if you talk about Connecticut, you talk about Florida, the front lines that can match up with Arizona's front line. So guess what happened? The UConn game and the Florida game went right down to the wire. Those guys are trying to take away the rim. They're trying to take away the three-point line. What's available is 12 to 15 feet out. 16-foot jump shots are available, and that's where Jaden Bradley and more recently Braden Burries can get super busy, especially off of one or two dribbles, Kelvin. So what we've seen consistently is Jaden Bradley close with tough mid-range jump shots, taking what the defense gives him with supreme pure confidence. That's basically where he gets, that's his most confident area of the court, is between 12 to 16 feet. And when defenses collapse to take away the rim, when defenses are trying to make sure that Del Orso and Karchenkov and other guys aren't trying to get busy from the three-point line, Jaden Bradley, time and time again, has closed games out by taking what the defense gives him and knocking down basically, 90% of those shots that he's taken in those big games.
And speaking
I
of...
wanted to say...
Go ahead.
I wanted to say something about his dunks. I said he kind of looking Caleb Lovish on some of those dunks, the way he's taking off and sneaking up. And
that first one, yeah.
Kind of looking like...
First one looked like, Kelvin, like he took off a little far, just like Caleb. Like might have taken off a step too far out, but yeah, no problem on that one at all.
Speaking of closing for Mr. Jaden Bradley, 9 of 13 this season in what College Basketball Analytics, CBB Analytics, likes to call clutch time. 9 of 13 in clutch time is Jaden Bradley. And Tommy just loves all the things that Jaden Bradley brings to this offense.
Jaden's just a really good player, and he's having a great year, and he seems to be making all the right decisions. So today was another game where he put his marks on it when he had to, and then when he didn't have to, he kind of gave a lot of space for the other guys to shine, and that just says a lot about him as a player and a person.
4 assists to 2 turnovers. I'm sorry, 1 turnover and 2 steals in that win Saturday over Oklahoma State. All right, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number if you'd like to get in on the conversation. Arizona, number 1 in the country. Kansas, number 9 in the country. Let's hear my questions this week to the head coach.
For all the questions you need answered, it's DK with TL. Our David Kelly asks Tommy Lloyd questions, and you get the answers. DK with TL is sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Hughes Federal Credit Union. We take you further.
It's a quick turnaround for the second time, Saturday to Monday, so we only have one question to the head coach, but it's about the big man, Toby Awaka, who leads the country in offensive rebounds per 40 minutes. He's got 8 of those per 40 minutes. He's also got 10 plus times this year he has had 10 rebounds in a game or more. Why is he so good at that, Tommy Lloyd?
I mean, well, first off, rebounding is something we really value. It's a value in our program. And then Toby's he's got a knack for it, and he's also had He's always had relentless pursuit and effort for the ball, and rebound has always meant a lot to him individually. And then in our program, it really means a lot. And I just I'll give him credit over the course of the past couple of years. He's a rugged, tough player, but he's also getting a little more savvy and some touch to how you can offensive rebound without just throwing guys to the ground. So I appreciate his growth as a player.
There was a dunk, Tommy, in the second half for Koa where Toby kind of screened the guy out, backed him down to allow Koa to get to the lane. And we've seen Toby do that on a number of times this year. Is that part of the offense? Is that something he's doing just when he feels like I can screen this guy and give my guy a drive lane to get a bucket?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, do variations of that. We just call it a duck in. I mean, he's ducking in, and I think the first objective is, to get a post touch, in the charge circle. I mean, there's a lot of foul pressure there. And then, sometimes if you have a good duck in and then the guy with the ball beats his guy, the rim defender is sealed off and you can get all the way to the basket. I mean, it just happens that way sometimes. Yeah, and Tobey's good at it.
And those are the questions that you needed answered. DK with TL is sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Hughes Federal Credit Union. We take you further. Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media station.
Along with Kelvin Efon and JW Madden, my name is David Kelly. It's Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, getting you set for the Wildcats, number one in the country, unanimous number one again this week. The Wildcats got all of the first place votes for a fifth consecutive week. They continue to reign 59. I don't know what happened to those other two riders. Have they just taken the last 2 weeks off? Because it was 61 a few weeks ago, and the last couple of weeks it's only been 59. I hope they're not shirking their responsibilities.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. They also. How about this though, guys? They did not get all. I said unanimous. I correct myself. They did not get all 31 votes on the coach's side this week. I guess beating Oklahoma State at home by 37 points was not as impressive as viewed because Michigan got one back this past week.
I'll tell you what this all is. Okay, so Ken Pom and all the other computer-based ranking systems, they like Michigan a little better. They got Michigan number 1 and Arizona number 2. And I'll tell you why that is. It's because Michigan's schedule is not as backloaded as Arizona's is. So Michigan just defeated number 5 Nebraska and number 7 Michigan State last week. They followed that up with Penn State and Ohio State, so those aren't huge, super high net ranking teams, but they've have less. I mean, they still have Purdue, Duke, Michigan State, and Illinois left on their schedule. Those are all top 15 teams, DK. But what I'm saying is the computers base your record on the opponents you face. Strength of schedule is a huge part of that. So this stretch that Arizona is going through right now, should they find a way to come through unscathed, will jump way over the top of Michigan because their strength of schedule in the Big 12 Conference will even that out, and they're going to be ahead eventually. It's just a matter of how the schedule is set up, and right now Michigan has a few more marquee wins under their belt than Arizona in conference.
I want to go back to what we were talking about there with Tommy Lloyd, guys, and just when we talk about Toby Owaka and his ability to screen, there's lots of different ways to screen. I mean, a lot of people think that's, high up on the perimeter, a guy coming off the 3-point line or top of the circle, those types of things. But the particular screen that I was talking about there with Tommy is one where he basically just takes a guy and boxes him out of inside the lane, allowing for his ball handler to get a clear pass drive to the basket. I don't recall seeing a lot of guys this is my 18th season covering Arizona, a lot of guys that do that as much as Toby does it. And that's a pretty nice asset to have on the offensive side as well.
Well, you think about it, J-Dub, we didn't have really a lot of duck-in guys, right?
Well, it's high-low, right, Kelvin? There's a lot of high-low there in the first few years, yeah.
Right, or playing off the penetration and dropping it off to them, and all they got to do is go up and finish. What he said about ducking in is they're posting up heavy in the lane. And what's happening is the defender is trying to get on the high side to deny him, to deny a pass into the inside. So as that guy, you got a guy like Owaka who's so wide, like an offensive tackle. He's basically screening out that side, and you got to give credit to the guy with the ball as well, because what he's seeing is the lane is wide open. Let me drive in there because this guy can't get around Owaka or Krivas. It's mostly Owaka, but Krivas is good at it as well. But you can't get around him to be able to block your shot. And if you do get around him, he's in the charge circle most of the time because of how deep he's getting posted up by Owaka.
Yeah, one of the issues, DK, was Mateus Krivas getting injured last year, right? Because if you think about the first couple of years, Zoo was much more of a mid-post guy. He was really more of a 8 to 14 feet guy as opposed to posting up 4 feet away from the basket. He would outrun power forwards to the rim run and seal them and get easy fast break points that way, sealing guards. But this year's team, like Kelvin just pointed out, with Moteus Krivas and Tobe Awaka, both guys are ultra efficient right there on the block. And so when you have two guys who are capable of demanding double or extra defensive attention, because if you don't, what Kelvin's talking about is you have to come on the half side of that post up. You can't let the man put you right on his back. You have to get around one side or the other, and that's where you'll see a little bit of offhand to try to deflect that post pass. In this case, if the pass isn't there and the guards see that Tobe has just posted up really strong, they'll go that side wherever the defender is and almost use him, like a screenplay in football, that kind of thing. So all Tobe has to do is stand exactly where he is. If he continues to move, the refs might see that as a moving screen, but completely legal if he's trying to get space down there, the guards see that and use him to go around to shield off their man for an easy layup. You've seen Karchenkov do that quite a bit. Braden Burry's really good at going strong to the rim as well. And Tobe's just really smart about it. As long as his eyes are on the ball handler, he understands when to stop, become a statue, and let them just use his 6'9", 260 frame and go right around him.
Sixth Sense is watching the show tonight on our YouTube channel. He's in regards to the mark that Bill Self at home on Big Monday is 38-0. He says, how about that to be replaced by a 1 next to that? 38-1. 6 Sense believing that his Wildcats will get it done tonight against the Jayhawks at home on Big Monday. KW, our guy, checks in. He says, in terms of Darren Peterson, can you really be the best when you can't be relied to stay on the court?
Yes, you can. I mean, when we say best, I was going to say, when we say best player, doesn't mean most productive throughout the season. It just means, like, if you got to pick one guy at 100% health, that's what we're talking about here. If there's a guy. Now, the question I think KW is really asking is, would you draft Darren Peterson number 1 if he has cramping issues, if he has a history of injuries? You're going to put, you're going to invest $30 million into a rookie contract? That's the real question is this a consistent thing, Kelvin, that could maybe carry with him onto his professional? But when you talk about the skill set, the measurables, how calm Darren Peterson is taking tough shots, that's why he got Kobe comparisons when he was in high school. I mean, his shot making is elite. He's got the measurables. He's got a great, he's got ups. He's really physical. So as far as what a prospect is and what a one dude can do, I'm going to tell you this. Braden Smith, is it, at Purdue? I'd rather have him on my team as an offensive player than freshman Darren Peterson. There are better offensive players in college basketball. I just mean if there's one dude you need to go get you a bucket, a lot of people might say AJ DeBonsa. I'm taking Darren Peterson. That guy is an elite shot maker.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. I mean, I think he has a lot of similarities to what Kobe brought to the table, and he had a chance to study Kobe and the Jordans of the world, man. And I'm saying this kid is great. And I think that the coaches are holding them back and protecting him because, again, like I said, they know what type of talent it is. And, yes, you would want him to play the whole year, but if anything's a little wrong with your Ferrari, right, it's not the same. It's not like a big – Dodge or a big Ford or something that you just drive.
You don't redline your Ferrari if it's a little bit under the weather. You take it to the shop.
Yeah, exactly. But when you need them for the big races, you pull them out. And so, of course you would love for him to be there for the chemistry of the team, even though I think the team actually had a chance to get better and actually develop a guy coming off the bench because he got a chance to start and play some of those games when he didn't play. But I just think it's the Kyrie Irving treatment where the coach is just really looking out for his future because they know they were lucky to get him on their team.
That's a great comparison because you remember, DK, Kyrie played 11 games, I think, 12 games in college. I mean, he sat out basically the whole year and then came back right at the very end, played famously in that Derek Williams game where Derek Williams went off and they beat Duke. But yeah, I mean, he has got a very, very bright future. And Bill Self knows they're going to need Darren Peterson as healthy as possible down the stretch for them to maximize their success.
Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day is the show. 520-848-1290 is the number. We'll talk some more about Darren Peterson and get a scouting report on this entire Jayhawk roster. Coming up next, Brian Haney, the voice of the Kansas basketball team, will join us. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was, and even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Wildcat fans, where do you go when the final buzzer sounds? You don't head home. You head to Roadhouse Cinemas and Roadies, Tucson's home court for great food, craft beer, and nonstop fun. At Roadies, you can bowl, throw an axe, play arcade games, or grab a burger while the next game plays on the massive screens. Then, catch the newest movies right next door at Roadhouse Cinemas with luxury recliners and full in-seat dining. Game days, movie nights, anytime. Make it a win at Roadhouse Cinemas and Roadies on the corner of Grant and Swan.
Family outgrowing your car? Hughes Federal Credit Union can help you get the car you want and the rate you need. Hughes is one of the only financial institutions in the country that doesn't switch loan rates based on a qualified buyer's credit score. That means you get our one-rate guarantee regardless of your credit score. We promise. When it's time for your next new or used car, Hughes is here to take you further. Check out our low rates on hughesfcu.org/auto and apply today. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Now that winter is really here, cooler overnight temperatures mean that your tire pressure warning light could be on. In most cases, you solve the problem by simply adding the correct amount of air to your tires. As always, you can stop by any of our 14 area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. And if you need help with that low pressure warning light, we fix those too. Check out jackfurriers.com. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
Ugh, no, not the sink. Not now.
Plumbing issues can put your life on pause. But with anytime emergency scheduling, the Neighborly Done Right promise, and more, Mr. Rooter Plumbing will have your life flowing again in no time.
All fixed. Much better.
Mr. Rooter is proud to cheer on the Cats. Mention this ad for 10% off any plumbing service. A win for the whole family. Bear down, Arizona.
Mr. Rooter Plumbing,
a Neighborly company.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
The target, 422 Maple Drive. No tripped alarms, no broken windows. While you were sleeping, they made off with $50,000 in equity, and they didn't even use a getaway car.
Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control. Don't let termites turn your equity into sawdust. We stop the heist before the damage is done. Call 520-201-2000 for your free termite inspection. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, termites.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Inside it goes to Owaka. Posted up on Dickinson. Backing him down left of the lane. Puts an elbow into him twice. Jumper is up and good for Toby Owaka. Bill Self is beside himself, so to speak.
Toby Owaka with the fall-away baseline little turnaround jumper.
Time now for a look at today's Wildcat opponent. The Scouting Report is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier since 1960. Here to get you there.
Another big Monday broadcast for your Arizona Wildcats. Ball game for them. Broadcast for us anyway. Arizona, Kansas, number 1 versus number 11. Coming up a little bit later at Fog Allen Fieldhouse. Let's head back out to Lawrence, Kansas, and talk to the guy that's going to call it on the other team's network. Brian Haney joins us. He is the voice of the Kansas Jayhawks. And Brian, appreciate you taking some time. I saw this stat just a few minutes ago. We like to call this Big Monday. I mean, you and I come from the same era when this was, where the first game was Big East and then Big 12 and then Big West. Now it's built around the Big 12 in this great conference we have. Bill Self is 38-0 on Big Monday.
Isn't that crazy? At home. At home.
Oh, at home. Okay, at home.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's a pretty wild stat, though, because Big Monday doesn't feature first versus last. It's typically cream of the crop, top of the league type matchups. And to be 38-0 at home is pretty outstanding. Of course, he has a 95% home court winning percentage in general in Allen Fieldhouse, but they've never faced a number 1 ranked team in the Bill Self era in Allen Fieldhouse. So he's never beaten one. The history of the building, which is 71 years old, they've only had 5 opponents come in ranked number 1 all time, one of which was the 2003 Arizona team that famously came back to outscore Kansas by 30 in the second half and come back from a big deficit to win that one over Roy Williams and the Jayhawks. But Allen Fieldhouse, as great of a venue as it is, has never seen a number 1 team taken down by the home team, of course, the Kansas Jayhawks.
Brian Haney's our guest. He's the voice of the Kansas Jayhawks. Let's keep it on Coach. How's he doing? Obviously, he was hospitalized a few weeks ago. How's his health going?
Yeah, I think he's in really good shape, good spirits. It was scary because he's had some previous heart issues. This was an AFib flare-up, and they got a handle on it, and that's still serious, but not like he had a heart attack or anything like that. It just happened right as the team was boarding the bus to go to Boulder, and then with the altitude out there and the fact that the team already flew out when he was still in the hospital, he elected to sit that one game out. But ever since, he's come back, and they've kept their winning streak going, now 7 straight wins for Kansas. And so it was a minor scare, a little bit of a flare-up, but he's doing good. And if you look at him, he looks way different from a year ago. He's lost about 40 pounds. Eating the primarily Mediterranean diet. I should take a page out of his book. But yeah, he's doing everything he can to have the longevity that we all hope he can have.
All right, things kind of started a little bit interestingly in the Big 12 for you guys. Lost down at Central Florida, and again, nothing to sneeze home about because that's a good team down there, the Golden Knights. And 2 games later, a loss at West Virginia. But since then, like you mentioned, got things rolling with that blowout home win over Iowa State and haven't lost since. What kind of turned it on, starting with that Iowa State game that's got these Jayhawks rolling right now?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I'll start with the quote that Coach Self had when we lost in Morgantown, because I thought he hit the nail on the head. We're not used to opening 1 and 2 in league play, and prior to last season, Kansas had lost the conference opener in 33 years.
Wow.
So they lost a month ago at West Virginia. They were 1 and 2, barely got the one win that they had. It took overtime and a miraculous comeback to beat TCU. And he gets to the mic at West Virginia postgame and says, "We suck right now, but it's right now." And that was the key, but it's right now. And you don't normally ever hear Bill Self say "we suck" publicly. You might hear it at practice, but not publicly. But he put it all in context and in perspective that, hey, it's still way early. And if you followed this team even remotely from afar, which I know you have, David, they were obviously without Darren Peterson for the bulk of non-conference play. And then he was still dealing with the cramping issues and also had an ankle injury early in league play. And so he's only played 13 games for us this year out of the 23. And it's tough when you build your roster around a generational talent that's going to be the heart and soul of the team. And then for half your games, he hasn't been there. Or in some games, like the BYU example from just 9 days ago, brilliance in the first half, cramps flare up, doesn't play the final 17 minutes. And so as you're trying to establish an identity and know how to coach these guys, as they round into form and become what they're going to be, it's really hard when the straw that stirs the drink sometimes is in the glass and sometimes it's not, so to speak. So to get him to where now these last couple of ball games, he's been able to finish the game, play 30-plus minutes. He's not had the cramping flare-ups. He's not had any residual ankle issues as well. That's a really good sign because most Kansas fans would tell you this is the most impressive talent since Paul Pierce and maybe beyond that. So definitely number one pick in the draft. Anybody that watched him versus DeBonsa the other night, when Darren was on the floor, it wasn't close. Okay, I mean it was apples and oranges in terms of the differential of impact on both ends of the court. But will we see that version of him tonight? Can he be that guy more nights than not and steer clear of this cramping issue that started with hamstring tightness, then it spread to quad cramping, and it's just kind of been a myriad of things. But, David, that would be my best answer. They just have struggled with continuity of the lineup. And here you are on February the 9th. You're pretty much who you're going to be at this point, but he's one of those guys that just hasn't had sustained health and consistency to where most teams can't still improve dramatically in mid-February. Kansas could. And if he continues to be a 32-minute-a-game type guy, nobody's going to want to face the Jayhawks in March. Arizona may be the class of the conference and best team in America right now, but I think the Big 12 come March Madness could have two Titans to contend with for the rest of the country if Peterson is consistently playing 30-plus minutes a night.
Brian Haney is our guest. It is your scouting report. It's brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960, here to get you there. Brian Haney is the voice of the Kansas Jayhawks. It's the Jayhawks, number 11 in the country, versus the top-ranked Wildcats in Lawrence, Kansas. You mentioned, obviously, Darren Peterson. These are two teams that are coming off this is the Wildcat team coming off a tremendous defensive performance against Oklahoma State. Kansas, obviously, one of the better defensive teams in this conference. What has worked? How are they holding teams down? 67 points in average coming in.
Well, they've been the class of the conference in field goal percentage defense, three-point percentage defense, and blocked shots. And a big part of that is Flory Bidunga, who just about an hour ago was named the Big 12 Player of the Week, and a guy that's at 7 blocks in the contest on Saturday versus Utah. He's been outstanding. And what makes him such a premier defender is that he's not just going up against the other team's 4 or 5 man. Kansas switches so much on ball screens defensively that many times you'll find him sliding his feet to stay in front of a point guard, and he does so impressively. He's as versatile of a defender as you'll find in the league. Now, I think the concern for tonight is this will be the most impressive team Kansas will have faced in probably every regard, but specifically when it comes to 15 feet and in. Bill said a couple times the last 48 hours from 12 feet and in, there's nobody close in the country to how good Arizona is. The size, the length, the muscle, the hustle, all that. And Flory plays on a pogo stick. He's not very thick, though. And so if a walk is throwing an elbow into his chest and clearing some space, how does Flory use his quickness to get around him? How does he use some of that explosiveness and vertical leap and bounciness to combat the fact that he doesn't quite have the bulk that some of the Arizona bigs will have? But Kansas collectively, defensively, has been outstanding. They're going to have to do a great job on the glass tonight because if there has been an Achilles heel at times in their losses, they've defended really good with first-shot defense but not gotten the defensive rebound. And second chance opportunities have cost them. So you look at a team like Arizona, who's plus 13 on the glass and has so many guys that can eat you up on the boards. Kansas is going to have to not only get that stop, but get the board in the possession, because that could easily be their undoing if we see some of the struggles they've had on the defensive boards resume tonight.
Well, I was watching a little bit of video. Is it fair to call Trey White a guard at 6'7"?
Yeah, there's this era of wings that can do a lot of things. He's kind of, if you remember, it was before you guys were in the league, but on the title team of 2022, KU had a player named Jalen Wilson, who's now with the Brooklyn Nets. He's very similar to Jalen in that he can hit you a couple of threes a game. He does a great job of putting the ball on the deck, getting into the paint and leaning into a defender to draw contact and a foul. He's gone to the free throw line over 100 times already this year with plays like that. But yeah, also a really good rebounder and 6'7", does a lot of things. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife for KU, but he's been a tremendous fit. He and Melvin Council, they're two portal guys that have just been outstanding additions. As you know, it's hit and miss these days in portal recruiting when you got 3 weeks to identify somebody, not only from a talent standpoint, but are they going to fit our culture, our locker room, all that. We've had some big misses in the last couple of years. Those two are outstanding home runs. And Council is a guy that they'd love to see an additional year awarded to based on his junior college start, because he has become kind of the pulse of this team. Darren Peterson may be their most talented player, but the engine that makes it go is Melvin Council. So he and Trey collectively, two fabulous additions by Coach Self's staff.
Well, obviously it was a huge game last year at the end of the season. Arizona comes in 23 consecutive wins, busting Kansas's record to start a Big 12 for a Big 12 team to start a campaign. Is there any angriness over that? Arizona taking that record away?
You know what? I think most folks around here have forgotten about that until we read the headline the other night, because that was Roy Williams' era, and stuff like that doesn't get brought up as much anymore. But it's absolutely something we're mindful of now that it's out there, because that team in 97, my goodness, Paul Pierce, Rafe LaFrance, there were some big-time pros on that club that opened the year 22-0. And I think, obviously, you look at this Arizona roster and you see some similar next-level talent. So it's not anger or bitterness or anything like that, but certainly they'd love to put the first blemish on the Wildcats schedule. And like I said, Allen Fieldhouse, not that they've had a ton of chances, but Allen Fieldhouse in 71 years has never seen a number one team taken down. And so that could be the bigger feather in KU's cap if they can get the win tonight.
Real quick, Brian, Arizona's about to play 4 straight games against top 20 ranked teams. Has Kansas had a stretch like that recently where they've had to play 4 straight against teams, as good as that?
Yeah, in fact, we're in the middle of it right now. It's kind of funny. This new format with 16 Big 12 teams, you play everybody once, and then you get 3 opponents twice. And the teams that are the elite teams like Kansas, Arizona, Houston, Texas Tech, Iowa State, they all immediately look to say, okay, well, who had to play the hard teams twice? and we always feel like we get the toughest schedule, right? Well, Kansas and Arizona are stuck with each other. We know that. We got to come out there in a couple of weeks, too. But Kansas also had Iowa State twice. And so we go there on Saturday after this game tonight, and that will conclude a 4 top 15 opponents in a 5-game stretch, with Utah being the outlier. So that's 15 days of 4 ranked teams, and right now KU's 3-0 to start that stretch, but it's a gauntlet, no doubt, and we'll be curious to see how Arizona handles their portion of it as well.
Brian Haney's the voice of the Kansas Jayhawks. Brian, have a great call tonight.
Hey, thanks, David. Always a pleasure.
That is your scouting report for today.
And that's the lowdown on the team U of A is about to face on the hardwood. The Scouting Report has been brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier since 1960. Here to get you there. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Bear Down Roofing, Dorado Rock, Essential Pest Control, Goodfellas AC, Hughes Federal Credit Union, Johnson Manley Company, JT Auto, Lexus of Tucson, Mr. Rooter, Recon Auto Detail, Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking K, a master planned community designed by nature, Factory Direct Mattress, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up with science.
You mean they don't use yesterday's newspaper?
No, they use the latest in technology and innovation to eliminate bugs, bees, termites, weeds, and more.
So no as seen on TV salt guns?
Nope, only solutions that target insect biology, using chemistry to help protect the environment, people, and their pets.
You are so smart.
Essential Pest Control leaves bugs belly up. Call 886-3029 or visit essentialpest.com.
Why do I spend so much time educating our youth about financial wellness? I have seen the fire ignite inside of young adults when I show them how the power of compound investing can change their futures. This is Natalie Fernandez at Meridian Wealth Management, and I'm committed to affecting change with our youth. An idea for all of you listening today, gift a Roth IRA contribution for the holidays or birthdays for your kids and grandkids. Contact our office at 520-719-1433 for guidance and details. The change begins with us.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
At Goldberg & Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Broadway in Tucson presents the 20th anniversary season featuring 7 Tucson premieres, including Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Hell's Kitchen, Moulin Rouge, The Wiz, Back to the Future, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and more. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the lowest prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2025-2026 season tickets today.
Hi, I'm Jordan Benjamin with Done Right Services. When your home or business needs HVAC, plumbing services, or electrical work, trust a true local Tucson company, Done Right Services. We pride ourselves on delivering top-notch service, fair pricing, and expert craftsmanship. The job isn't finished unless it's done right. Weekend emergency? No problem. Just give us a call. We're here when you need us. You deserve the best, and Done Right Services delivers. Call us today for a free estimate at 520-369-3966.
Now that's what I call savings. Looking for strength and value? Get $2,000 off a new 2025 Chevy Trailblazer, $3,000 off a 2025 Chevy Traverse, and up to $4,500 off a 2025 Chevy Colorado. That's real muscle, real savings. Right now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Call us at 747-8000, see us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall, or on the web at O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
All right, she's inside. Are you good?
Yeah. It's just, she's my baby girl, you know?
I do, and ceramic coating was a good choice.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yep, I know.
Recon Auto Detailing. Enhance or restore your baby to her former glory with paint recondition, ceramic coating, paint protection, tinting, and more for full protection of your vehicle inside and out. New cars, old cars, we love them all. Recon Auto Detailing, 3829 North Oracle Road, Tucson. ReconDetail.com.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Bradley down into the lane, lay it up and good. Previous turnaround jump hook is good. Del Orso springs a 3 out there and drains it. Milwaukee takes away the rebound and slams it home. It's a man's game.
Bear down, Cats. Our window depot coverage of University of Arizona basketball continues with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to tip-off for Arizona Wildcats basketball. This is Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Inside, turn around, up, off, no good by Coleman. Rebound, grabbed by Del Orso on the run, weaving his way through traffic. Nice bounce pass, Burries, slam it home.
Del Orso with the vision and the dime.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
That was one of my favorite plays from Saturday's game, an 84-47 win by your Arizona Wildcats over Oklahoma State. Final hour of our pregame shows. We're getting you set for the beginning of the Gauntlet. 4 consecutive games against ranked opponents. It starts tonight for number 1 Arizona against 9th ranked Kansas. In our final hour of the show, we will figure out who that Jayhawk is going to be that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin tonight. Is your pest of the game, brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Can we beat the book? I've got a little bit of a lead, but it's shrinking. Just 3 correct picks over J.W. Madden. Arizona, a 1.5-point favorite in this contest today. Over under a more reasonable 153.5 compared to the 168, I believe we had recently. I think that was at the last game of the game before. It was high. Didn't even come close to that last Saturday. Keys to the game brought to you by Royal Automotive. Starting lineup, Rocking K will have your presentation on that. We are, as we speak, officially within the final 90 minutes prior to tip-off of this game tonight, which will be 7 o'clock. So we should have the latest injury report or availability report. And we do. It is sponsored by nobody. So if you want to sponsor the availability report, 887-1000 is the number to call, and we'll get you hooked up on being a sponsor right here on the Arizona Wildcats radio network. Wilder Evers is out for Kansas. Justin Cross is also out for Kansas tonight. Nobody on the availability report for your Arizona Wildcats. That's a good thing. I don't know that those two guys, Wilder Evers has played in 1 game. Justin Cross has played in 1 game. So everybody's got pretty much their full complement of core players for this game coming up tonight in Lawrence. So let's start identifying guys that could be pest of the game. You heard from Brian Haney. Melvin Council Jr. sounds like the guy that stirs the drink right now for this team. He could be a pest of the game, as could be the big man, Flory Badunga. Trey White says both of those guys set the tempo on this Kansas squad.
Man, him and Flo are like the heart and soul of our team. They're like our energy. We go off them. So, he coming back in, you immediately felt his presence. That's kind of him to a T.
All right. Flory Badunga, he is a big guy. He is one of the top scorers on this team at 14 points per game. He's a very big guy. He is. He also averages 5 rebounds per ball game. And he likes to block a shot or two, does Flory Badunga. He has 65 block shots this season. Let's hear from Flory on what it feels like to block a shot.
Have you ever blocked a shot before?
Me?
No, I'm not a shot blocker. I can tell you. You know what I'm saying? You have to be a part of the club. But it's a great thing. I feel like it's really good defensively. I have my teammate.
Did he ask the media guy if he's ever blocked a shot before?
I believe so, yeah.
Is that what he said there?
I can honestly say,
Calvin, how many shots have you blocked in your time?
Well, he's a defensive specialist, so all of the shots.
Yeah, that's what I was. I blocked jump shots. You know what I'm saying? I was quick out the floor. And I blocked a lot of shots in high school, man. Yeah, that was my thing, locking up on defense. So, yeah.
So Flory Badunga has 65 blocks compared to 41 for Motier Escrivas. He is the leader for your Arizona Wildcats in terms of that category.
A little different. Obviously, Kansas, we'll talk about this a bit more, I'm sure, but Kansas loves to switch out on the perimeter, and, Coach Self really likes bigs who can move their feet when they get matched up with swingmen or guards. And so what Flory Badunga has been asked to do is guard his man and guard the other 4 men at the same time. So really adept at coming off his man. And when he does get matched up, Kelvin, with the guard, I've seen many plays this year where a guard might get a step on Flory and he is right there to meet him at the rim. So one of, if not the best defensive players in the nation. There is no doubt.
Yeah, no, I love the way that he competes, man. Again, a 6'9" athlete can get up and down the floor. As you say, he comes over to block everything. But I think you could use that against Kansas, especially with the guards that we have. Jaden Bradley, 6'4", Barry, 6'5". Those guys all penetrating. Even Korchenkov penetrating with his size. I think that opens up a lot of backside rebound opportunities. So his shot blocking could go against him tonight if he goes too aggressively to block shots.
And on that note, Kelvin, there's not much behind him, right? There's nobody that brings quite what he does. So he is so integral. No. That's one of the best. Kansas has one of the best defenses in the nation, DK. However, if like Kelvin said, if Mo Krivas and Koa Pete and Tobe Awaka and those guards penetrating at the rim can put rim pressure and foul pressure with behind Flory Badunga, it's a big drop-off. So what'll happen is if he does hypothetically pick up a couple early fouls, he has to be much, much more cautious, which will just open up some of those driving lanes even more for the Wildcats.
All right, let's hear again from Trey White on the presence that Flory Badunga provides defensively for this team.
I can't even put it into words. I wouldn't even put him as the last line of defense because he'll pick up and switch on the guard too. But it's just good to know if I do get beat, it's going to get beat as well. So.
Have you ever seen a guy with so much bounce?
So much bounce? I don't know. He's up there. He's up there for sure.
Yeah, that's one of the things that worries me, and we'll get into that in the keys to the game. I talked about it when the Wildcats played Kansas. Guys that can block shots, teams that can block shots. That seems to be one thing that maybe at times can get Arizona a little bit off their offensive kilter. So we'll see maybe if Flory Badunga is that guy tonight.
If memory serves, I think it was Alabama, right, that blocked 14 shots and Arizona won by 20. Right? Like the one game I remember where Arizona was getting shots blocked left and right, I think it was the Alabama game.
Yeah, but it was dicey early. Yeah.
For sure. No. I'm not trying to discount what you said. I totally agree. I think teams that have shot blockers, obviously because Arizona's trying to score most of their points in the paint. So if you have a player or two or three who can affect shots at the rim, that's one way that you can try to slow down this Arizona offense. I'm just saying the one game I remember where Arizona had a ton of shots blocked, they won fairly comfortably.
There you go.
But let me say this, and let me add to that. It's one thing to block the shot, but it's the other thing to out-hustle our guys to that block shot. We got guys that's going for that ball, man. You hear me? I mean, Koa Pete, that's a football player. You know what I mean? Walker, that's a football player. They're going for that ball. So if you block the shot, you got to retrieve that block. And a lot of teams aren't good at it. Kansas is pretty good at it because they have the athletes that can run those down. But what I'm hoping for today is on those missed shots, their missed rebounds in the paint where we can use our size to out-muscle them to go get that ball and go finish because they can't stop us. The next biggest guy is 215, 6'7", 215 is their power forward.
And giving up offensive rebounds has been a bit of a bugaboo for them this year.
All right, let's find out who's going to be that Jayhawk that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin tonight.
Who is the pest that the Wildcats need to be free from? To win today's game, the Pest of the Game is brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Pest control with science. In Tucson at essentialpest.com.
All right, J-Dub, you go first on this one today.
Well, if I get to go first, then I think it's a pretty simple pest for me today, and that's got to be Darren Peterson. Just because, I get Melvin Council stirs the drink, 5-assist guy. I know Trey White can do some things. Flory Badunga is a monster, but a healthy Darren Peterson, to me, is the best one-on-one offensive player in America. If he's comfortable, if he sees clean driving lanes, if he doesn't have hands in his face as he's shooting, and starts to feel really comfortable in maybe the biggest game so far of his life, number one Arizona coming in, that could be a problem for Arizona. So to me, it's a no-brainer. It's got to be Darren Peterson.
All right, I'm going to go again. I'm going to go with what I said 2 minutes ago. I'm going with Flory Badunga because if he can affect shots, that worries me a whole lot. In terms of Arizona's offense, they haven't really played a lot of dominant inside presence guys this season, and I think this is one of those guys at home in front of his crowd. Block shots, get the crowd going. It could get loud. Arizona might get off their offensive kilter, and this is going to be a different environment than Alabama. You were able to go in there and win in a neutral, a home neutral site. It wasn't Tuscaloosa. This is Fog Allen Fieldhouse, and it's never easy to go in there and get a win. And if you got a big guy that's playing out of his mind, it's even more difficult. So I'm going with Flory Badunga.
I think only the game in stores this year, right? They were down 2 starters,
Yeah.
but as far as like a true road game against a top 10 team, this will be only the second so far this year.
Right. Kelvin.
Yeah, to me, man, the true test of this game is Trey White, man, because at 6'7", 215, he plays what they got is the stretch 4 because he pushes the ball a lot as well. And he has to guard the Waka or Koa Pete today, which I don't know how he's going to keep those guys off the board. But one thing he can do is use his penetrating ability, his three-point ability to put some foul pressure on those guys. And if he can get those guys in foul trouble, that gives them a chance. Again, he averages 15 points and 7 boards. I think he's integral to what they do. And yeah, that's my pick.
All right, Darren Peterson, Trey White, Flory Badunga, the top 3 scorers, and some pretty good defenders as well. Those are the guys we think will get underneath the Wildcats' skin.
That's our best of the game. Brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Pest control with science. In Tucson at essentialpest.com. Let's take a look at what's happening today around the rest of the country. The Wildcats Radio 1290 Game Day Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm.
All right, the other thing about Big Monday is there's really not a whole lot of competition, at least on the major stage. This is the only game tonight in the Big 12. Arizona and Kansas. There'll be 4 games tomorrow. Oklahoma State will visit Arizona State. It'll be number 22 BYU looking to end their losing streak on the road at Baylor. Houston is on the road as well tomorrow night against 1-9 Utah. And 5th-ranked Iowa State will be at TCU. So big schedule tomorrow. 2 games on Wednesday. Colorado at number 16 Texas Tech. Cincinnati on the road at Kansas State. Top 25 tonight. The other game on the Big Monday schedule is being played right now. Number 24, Louisville, at home leading NC State 46-30. Now, NC State is not ranked, but they've got a 2-game lead over Louisville in the ACC right now. So, big lead there for Louisville trying to knock off the first-place team in the conference. One other game in the top 25 in action right now, 17th-ranked St. John's is leading Xavier and Philip Borvichinen, one-time Wildcat, 48-46. Philly B already has 8 points and 6 rebounds in that game. And that is your scoreboard for right now.
The Wildcats Radio 1290 Game Day Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by ABC Heating and Cooling, Arizona Commercial Lighting, Blue Sky Pest Control, Broadway and Tucson's 20th anniversary season, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne, The Injury Lawyers, Gospel Rescue Mission, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Shamrock Heating and Cooling, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Appliance Company, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
The dice are hot and the cash is calling at Casino del Sol. Every day, swipe your Club Sol card for a free entry into our Friday drawings at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., and 8 p.m. Plus, every 250 slot or table points gets you an extra entry. If your name is drawn, you'll step up and roll the dice. And if you hit 5 of a kind, you'll take home $5,000 in cool cash. Only at Casino del Sol. Enterprise of the Bosco Yaqui Tribe.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Now that winter is really here, cooler overnight temperatures mean that your tire pressure warning light could be on. In most cases, you solve the problem by simply adding the correct amount of air to your tires. As always, you can stop by any of our 14-area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. And if you need help with that low pressure warning light, we fix those too. Check out jackfurriers.com. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
Hi guys, I'm back. What's new?
Tucson Appliance Scratch and Dent Studio.
All the Scratch and Dent merchandise has its own new studio.
There were so many Scratch and Dent discounted items. Now they have a place of their own.
I love it. A whole Scratch and Dent studio right next to Tucson Appliance. They don't look like Scratch and Dent,
but it shows in the low prices.
Tucson Appliance Scratch and Dent Studio. Proud local supporters of the Southern Arizona Heartball. Only at Tucson Appliance, where you are a priority.
Ready to score a new vehicle? Whether you are looking for a new car, truck, or electric vehicle, at Royal Kia, we know exactly what you want. A quality vehicle at a great price and to be treated fairly. We stand by our transparent online pricing, offer a 72-hour buyback guarantee, and you work with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $589 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus, or royalkia.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rocking K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rocking K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats basketball radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. CoolWillies.com.
From offices and warehouses to retail spaces and restaurants, the right lighting transforms your environment. At Arizona Commercial Lighting, we've been proudly locally owned and operated for nearly 40 years. Our extensive inventory of in-stock lighting solutions is designed to meet both commercial and residential needs, with quality, variety, and value you won't find anywhere else. Visit us at 1436 East 17th Street or explore our offerings online at azcommerciallighting.com. Be sure to ask about available TEP rebates. Arizona Commercial Lighting, powering business through precision lighting.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think first chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 30 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcast. So if you've been injured, make the right choice first.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Kelly will bring it up himself across the midcourt line. Stop looking for Pete, being fronted to Walker. Now throw it to Pete inside. Lay it up and good. Bound and determined, and Pete just cleared some space.
Arizona, #1 team in the country, getting set to take on Kansas tonight. We are just under, I should say, a little over an hour from tip-off down in Lawrence. Brian Jeffries and Reggie Geary will have the call. You'll hear it right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Arizona 8-0 this season in quad 1 games. That's the most quad 1 wins in the country. You heard from Brian Haney some of the categories that Kansas leads the league in. The Wildcats, in terms of the Big 12, lead the league in scoring at 88 points per game. Scoring margin at winning games at a clip of almost 19 points a night. Field goal percentage, 51%. Field goal defense at 38%. Opposing three-point percentage, we talked about how the game on Saturday was low. It's under 30% or right at 30% on the season. Rebounding margin is plus 12 for Arizona on the season. The Wildcats have out-rebounded every opponent so far this year. Anthony Delorso says the camaraderie on this team is high, and that's one of the reasons the Wildcats have been able to play at such a high level.
We definitely like each other. We love playing with each other.
We see each other every day. We're practicing every day, so you build that chemistry. There's no sense of anyone's going to get their own or anyone goes selfish. I feel like we cut that pretty early and made that a focus for a team identity rather than selfishness.
Yeah, because I want to go back to I mentioned at the top of the show that I tweeted a picture. I got a good picture of Tommy when it was after a turnover in the second half of the game on Saturday, and Tommy kind of brought Delly over and just kind of gave him a little pat on the stomach, kind of a reassurance. And we've heard Tommy a number of times as it relates to Delly say, I'm going to hang with him during these struggles. I'm going to hang with him. So I put that on the picture that I sent out. I said, hang with him. And some of the responses I got, we talked about maybe one or two of them on Saturday night, but I wanted to get to a couple of these others because Delly tends to be maybe a little bit of a polarizing player on this team because of the fact that he struggled mightily at times this year. More repellent. Some of these names that these people go under on Twitter are very interesting. More repellent says, I can hang with poor shooting stretches. What I can't stand to watch is him believing he can dribble and turning the ball over every single time he dribbles into anyone. This isn't Campbell. Your job is to catch and shoot threes and back cuts. That's it.
Well, on that point, when Tommy brought him over was after a turnover.
Yeah.
Not after a bad shot.
No, that's what I said.
And then right after that is when he didn't see hit the ball into his hands, Kelvin, when he was ready for a catch and shoot on the right wing, and he did not see the ball into his hands. It went right through his hands and out of bounds. However, what happened right after that? Within the next 6 plays were his 2 assists, those 2 great assists. So, sticking with the player, Kelvin, how important it is for the players, these are 18 to 22-year-old quote-unquote kids for the most part, right? So how important is it for the coaching staff and the head coach in particular to just maintain the confidence that they have in those players to get through stretches like this?
It's very important because, if the coach get down, you're already struggling offensively, which is one of his strengths to his game. And if the coach get down on you for making little mistakes when he know you're trying your best, the coaches and the teammates know him the best because they practice with him all the time, so they know what he actually brings to the table. People talking about him dribbling the ball, well, he's earned that right. He's earned that right because the trust is there because they've been together now. This is their second year, going into their second year. So we talk a lot about freshmen being sophomores already. Well, this guy's been here 2 years now. He's one of the elder statesmen of this team. So you have to trust him. And we talk a lot about Awaka not starting and everything that he sacrificed. He sacrificed as well. I think that it affected him because, I think it bothers his confidence. He's a guy that's used to starting and kind of doing his thing. But I think coming out of Campbell, but I think that he's just figuring it out, and I'm happy that coach is sticking with him because that says a lot to his NIL guy. I mean, the future transfers. It says a lot to the future transfers that if you do come in, I'm gonna stick with you.
And real quick, back to the turnovers. To me, as I said in the post game, there's a very singular issue, Kelvin, which is either live ball turnover or if he gets a long defensive rebound and pushes, a lot of times he'll lose track of the trailing defenders. And he's gotten that ball poked away from him several times this year simply by maybe, the communication from his teammates behind, on your right, that whole thing. Being really strong with the ball in those, you're trying to get early offense. You're trying to put pressure on the rim. That's what Braden Burries has been great at this year. When Delly gets those, he does the same thing. But Kelvin, a couple of times this year, I've seen him maybe get a little lackadaisical with his strength of ball handling, and will have guys knock that ball away. There's been a couple of live ball turnovers in fast break opportunities. You just have to be really smart about where those quick guards are around you and make sure that you maintain the rock more than anything.
And Kelvin, he's not sticking with him; he's hanging with him.
He's koala-ing with him.
Yes, okay.
And that's not a gorilla on his back. That's a koala bear on his back.
Yes.
Perhaps a kangaroo on his back. I don't know. Lost Dutchman, a.k.a. Wild West Zona, says, despite Del Orso's struggles shooting the three, he's actually still positively impacted those games with good defense, hustle, and good passing. We talked about the one play there to Braden to get a dunk in the second half. Was probably one of my favorite plays of the game. Nice to see him add some shooting in the game against Oklahoma State, but just keep being a positive force like you've done all year. So there's a positive thought from the lost Dutchman, for one, Anthony Del Orso. All right, let's hear from Jaden Bradley on what has made this team 23-0 so special.
I just feel like our versatility and how deep we are. I feel like our guys off the bench did a great job. We kind of had a slow start, and Yvonne, Dwayne, Deli, they got it going for us off the bench, and they got the crowd going. But it could be anybody's night, the bigs, the guards, and I feel like everybody's happy for one another, and I feel like that's special. You don't see that too often.
Tonight will begin, as we have stated numerous times, the beginning of quite the gauntlet. 8 games remain in the conference schedule. 6 of those games will be against ranked opponents. The next 4 in a row will be against ranked opponents for your 23-0 Arizona Wildcats. Number 9, Kansas on the road. Number 16, Texas Tech at home. College game day will be here on Saturday. Then it is home to BYU. That'll be 9 days from now, so a week from Wednesday. And then they'll finish it out on the road, this 4-game stretch, Saturday affair in Houston against the number 1 Cougars. So that will not be. So the games against the 2 teams currently in the top 10 are going to be on the road. The games against the 2 teams outside of the top 15 currently are going to be at home. Tommy Lloyd, how about this gauntlet that your team is about to begin, and if there's any more extra juice in it with what's on tap?
I don't know. I think our guys, are excited to compete on a nightly basis. Today, to me, it just felt like a little bit of that game. We were a little choppy, and maybe, it took us a few minutes to catch our second wind in that game today. But I think our guys love competing. They love playing together. They love practicing. We had, a few guys dinged up and a few guys sick this past week. And, I expected some more days off, and guys literally showed up and said, "No, coach, I want to practice today." And thank you. We have some guys that are about the team and love playing together.
So there you go. There is some maybe guys that are going through some things. I have to imagine, I know no speculation, but I have to imagine Koa Pete, he's kind of been a guy that at times has gotten a little banged up, come down on the floor a little bit hard. So it's good to see those guys, again, fighting through it, being out there. And like Kelvin said earlier, as it related to Darren Peterson, this is not a game that if you're a big-time player that you want to miss for sure. And we don't anticipate any of those guys will do that tonight. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day.
Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
Oh, and guys, guess who's coming to dinner tonight in Lawrence, Kansas?
The whole 97 team?
I wish it was them. Tony Padilla.
Yeah, I saw that.
Tony Padilla will be one of the officials on the game tonight.
I swear. I told you guys, when you hear my keys to the games is foul trouble, and I said, hopefully Padilla isn't there. That was one of my keys to the game.
I almost, when I found out about that earlier this afternoon, I almost said to myself, I think that's all part, and we mentioned earlier that there's some major announcement coming out, and we had the cut earlier where Tommy talked about how Brett Yormark kind of set up a lot of these major games after the Super Bowl, kind of get out of the football haze that it grips this nation. And now you're starting to turn your focus to basketball. And, the first night after the Super Bowl, what do you have? Big Monday. You got number 1 versus number 9 to kind of kick off this stretch of games that are going to be so critical for the conference. And I believe part of it is that Brett Yormark knows how polarizing Tony Padilla is, and he wants him out there as well on the spotlight because more people are going to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is I'm watching to see how they officiate Tobe Awaka when he comes in the game. So it's like Tobe's going to come in and fly around, DK, as he always does. And if we see Tobe Awaka on his first crash get a foul called on him, and first time he tries to clear out space, that will dictate exactly how this game's going to be called throughout the game. Now, bear in mind that the home team, Kelvin, you go into an environment like Lawrence, Kansas, Allen Fieldhouse, you expect maybe 4, 5, 6 points to not go your way. That's just the way it always goes on the road. But in a game like this, bear in mind that Kansas only has, 5, 6 guys. This is not a very deep team. They got a very short bench. So you would imagine that the refs are going to let them play because otherwise, the last thing they want to see is this marquee matchup you just laid out, DK, the day after the Super Bowl and having the Kansas Jayhawks with, Floyd Badunga or, Darren Peterson getting in early foul trouble and not be in the game.
But J-Dub, that's the point. They let Kansas play and don't let us play.
Well,
that's
we'll see.
The issue gonna
we'll
be.
see.
Man, we'll see. Okay. You know how this.
I'm hoping.
Number one in the country on the road. I'm hoping. Yeah. But I'm sorry. I know I've seen this story before.
Like I said,
I've read this book.
Like I said, we'll see how Tobe gets refs when he first gets in that game because he's a good barometer because he's in there flying around. If they give a couple early fouls to Tobe Awaka, we'll know what's up.
Yeah.
All right, let's find out if anybody can beat the book tonight.
Tucson, it's time to beat the book. Will the Cats beat the spread? It's time to look at the numbers and find out how you should bet the book so you can beat the book. Bet the Book is sponsored by Casino del Sol. Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
All right, beat the book. Arizona is a 1.5-point favorite in this game tonight. Your over-under is 153.5. My lead shrunk because I took a chance the last game out on Saturday, and I took the over on a game that was well under. So right now, JW Madden is on my heels. I am plus 12. He is plus 8. That's only a 2-bet spread. Kelvin is even still at 23-23. So we will let Kelvin go first today. And Kelvin, Arizona minus 1.5.
Well, finding out Padilla is there almost changed my bet. But I did have Arizona by 8, but now I'm gonna bring that down to 3. So I'm taking
There's your 5. There's your 5 points.
Yeah, there it is. I'm bringing that down to 3.
All right, so
I got Arizona winning it.
All right, you are still taking the Wildcats minus the 1.5 points. I will go second on this one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that tonight's the night. I don't know that tonight's the night Arizona is going to lose. And obviously such a short line. I think they'll win by. If they win, it's not. I don't see it being a 1-point game or anything of that nature. So I'll take Arizona and lay that 1.5 as well.
Yeah, I agree. I have so much respect for the roster that Bill Self put together, and one of the weaknesses they do have is strength and depth on the front line, and that's what Arizona brings. So I think it's not necessarily that Kansas is that much worse of a team. It's just that I think Arizona's strengths are not necessarily Kansas strengths. Very good perimeter defensive team. Obviously, Floyd Badunga can come block shots, but beyond him, I think the strength and imposing nature of Arizona's front court will be a little bit too much. So, yeah, I could see Arizona winning by 2 possessions.
All right, over under 153.5. J-Dub, we'll go in reverse order.
153, I think, is a little low. I think there's going to be a lot of juice in the building. There's going to be a lot of NBA players in the building. So, yeah, I'll go over.
Are they all playing, all these NBA players? Or are there going to be some watching?
If there's cramps, then maybe not. But if there are not cramps, then yes, there will be.
I see what you mean there. Yeah, I like the over in this game as well. Kelvin?
Yeah, I gotta go with the over. I think it's gonna be some foul calls, so it's gonna be some free throw shooting.
So everybody is taking Arizona and laying the 1.5. Everybody is taking the over 153.5. Our guy Paul in Phoenix, apparently he's got it at 2.5. Arizona's favorite, but he's still laying that 2.5. He is also taking the over. We'll see who beats the book coming up later tonight.
That is how you bet the book so you can beat the book. Bet the Book is sponsored by Casino del Sol. Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
Looking for top-notch lumber and framing? Johnson Manley Lumber has been your trusted expert since 1970, specializing in both residential and commercial projects. Our experienced teams, cutting-edge technology, and reliable supply chain ensure your framing is on time and on budget every time. We're proud to be employee-owned and community-rooted in Tucson. Learn more at johnsonmanley.net. Proud supporter of the University of Arizona radio broadcast. Go Wildcats.
Wildcat fans, why wait for a great night's sleep? At Factory Direct Mattress of Tucson, you get comfort for life and deals you can't get anywhere else. Shop top-rated brands like the award-winning Puffy, Lisa, and our FDM lineup, all at Factory Direct Savings. No gimmick, no pressure, just comfort that helps you wake up feeling like a champion. Find us at 3936 West Ina Road or at fdmtucson.com. That's fdmtucson.com. Easy to find, easy to save. Stop by today, sleep better tonight, and get ready for Arizona's next victory.
Back your hometown favorite. Get your very own exclusive University of Arizona debit card from Hughes Federal Credit Union. Pair your new card with a free checking account that earns dividends with no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and convenient 24/7 online and mobile banking. Visit one of our 7 convenient branch locations to get your card instantly or open an account online at hughesfcu.org/wildcats. Show your Wildcat spirit all year long with Hughes Federal Credit Union. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
The dice are hot and the cash is calling at Casino del Sol. Every day, swipe your Club Soul card for a free entry into our Friday drawings at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., and 8 p.m. Plus, every 250 slot or table points gets you an extra entry. If your name is drawn, you'll step up and roll the dice. And if you hit 5 of a kind, you'll take home $5,000 in cool cash. Only at Casino del Sol. Enterprise of the Bosco Yaqui Tribe.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think first chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 30 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcasts. So if you've been injured, make the right choice first.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Discover your perfect vehicle at Cactus Auto, Tucson's trusted destination for certified pre-owned cars for over 30 years. They offer a wide range of certified pre-owned vehicles featuring the brands and models you love. Their finance experts are here to provide you with top dollar trade-in offers and help you find the best financing options, regardless of your credit history. With approved credit, enjoy no payments for up to 90 days. Trust Cactus Auto for quality, affordable pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by incredible savings and a 7-day exchange guarantee. Visit cactusauto.com.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Thana Ogden Nation.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Bounce pass to Pete, driving for the bucket, stops there. Tough turnaround, miss, no good. Jaden Bradley, offensive rebound, turnaround, bank it home.
Well, how about your point guard sneaking in for an offensive putback? Wow, that's tough to defend.
Arizona, Kansas coming up at the Fog Allen Fieldhouse, one of the storied venues in college basketball. 7 o'clock tip-off tonight. It'll be Brian Jeffries and Reggie Geary on the call. Arizona and Kansas met in Allen Fieldhouse back in 2003. The Wildcats were ranked number 1 in the country. Jayhawks had them down 52-39 at halftime. Arizona scored 52 points in the second half, holding the Jayhawks to 22 and winning the game by 17 points. Can that happen again tonight? We shall see. Connie checks in on the text groove tonight. Connie says Cats by 7 points. She says fans, non-players of the game fail to realize that it's the little things, contributions from the bench that are not highlighted on the stat sheets. It reinforces the culture of a shared purpose of how we win. This is a high IQ team, steady and poised thanks to Coach Lloyd's guidance. Thanks, guys. That's from Connie here in Tucson. Connie, appreciate your thoughts on the game tonight. If one more chance for you to get in, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Let's hear a little bit more from Tommy Lloyd on how the Big 12 put together this schedule, which will see his team play 6 of their final 8 games against teams from the top 25.
How it happened is we got our schedule, and they apologized. They said, we know this is hard, we know this is a gauntlet, but there's reasons we're doing this. Because the University of Arizona and the men's basketball program brings a ton of value to our conference. We want you guys to be a marquee piece of this conference basketball-wise. We know we got to earn our keep. We know we're the new kids on the block, so we're not walking in with hubris or thinking we should be. We're deserving of everything. We know we got to earn it. So we got a great schedule, but like I'm sure BYU saying the same thing. I'm sure Houston saying the same thing. I'm sure Texas Tech saying the same thing. We all kind of have this similar gauntlet down the stretch with Kansas, So yeah, we know it's going to be tough, and we know we're going to probably take a few on the chin, but hopefully it'll make us better.
Arizona will play Kansas twice over the course of these last 8 games. Kelvin, I joked after the show you'd left. I joked after the show that one of the questions I will ask Tommy Lloyd this week is if he can spell hubris like KJ did.
That would be funny right there. That would be funny right there. I would love to hear that one.
He sure is using the word a lot. I'm sure they'll alert him that that's coming and he'll have it down. I probably shouldn't have said that because now they'll know it's coming. Anthony Del Orso was asked over this weekend what he thinks fans are going to say, because of course we celebrated the 2001 team this past weekend. He was asked what he thinks fans will say about this team. Of course, this team's story is still not written, but what he thinks they might say about this team in 25 years.
I feel like you kind of said already, like how we love playing with each other, and it's obvious to see. That doesn't have anything to do with the stats or the wins or anything. You just notice that, and anyone that watches it, whether they have a basketball background or not, can see it. I think that's the best thing, and teams will, in the future, kind of try and build their team off that. That pure love for each other and want to play together, because it just gets rid of all the hassles of ego and selfishness.
Kelvin, you all just passed your 25-year anniversary a few years ago. What do people say about that 98 football team 25 years removed? What do you hear the most?
Just how together the team was. It just we were just connected, all around, from the offense to the defense. It just seemed like one big unit. Our motto was stay together, and we did that. That's the reason. We lost to UCLA. That's our only loss. About the 5th game in, and after that, we just went on a run, man, and just took care of business and just always had each other's back.
Yeah, it's. I think that those are common themes that we hear with a lot of these teams that are able to go deep into the postseason or have historic years. Is that there was a firm type of togetherness. Ryan Hansen, I think, said it a number of times how that team really loved playing with each other in 2001.
There's so many examples. Just look at the Kemba Walker, UConn Huskies, right? Because everybody talks about Kemba. Kemba. Go watch that 6-game run to that championship, right? That was not Kemba Walker. That was Kemba Walker, Kelvin, getting a lot of defensive attention and him being more than happy to set his teammates up for shots. So sometimes you need a dog. You need a person who can take late clock shots. You need somebody who can go get their own. But You need that same person, much like Jaden Bradley has done every single game this year. When you have extra defensive attention on you, you find the open man. When the defense sags off of you, Kelvin, you take the shot. It's just about making the right reads and trusting that your teammates will finish if you pass them the ball, and them trusting you to do the same. And there's so much trust on this year's team. It's just like Deli said, like Tommy Lloyd said, it's just so obvious watching them play that they're really not worried about impressing scouts right now, Kelvin. They're just worried about doing whatever it takes to get wins.
Yeah, totally agree, man. When I'm watching those guys play, it's starting to remind me a lot of the championship team when they went on this run, because that's how it is. That's why you remember all those guys' names: Jason Terry, Michael Dickinson, Daniel Harris, AJ Bramley. You remember all their names because everybody contributed, and you didn't know who was going to make the bucket. Like, yes, you had a Miles Simon and a Michael Dickinson who can go get theirs at any time, but you also had a number 2 pick, Mike Bibby, right there. And Jason Terry, number 10, played in the NBA forever. So, this team reminds me a lot of those guys. I mean, they went on this run and they've won all these games, and that team, lost a few games, within conference, more so because I think they were bored. I think they had so much talent at the time, they needed to really come together and figure out how it was going to play. This team right here seems to have figured that out. But again, we all know they're going to get judged on what type of run they make in this tournament.
Let's hear one more from Tommy Lloyd just on the road ahead for his team.
Okay, well, Bruce, you're always trying to get me off my day-to-day, right? Honestly, I'm excited for the Kansas game. I know this team has great potential. I'm not going to make light of it, but I also know there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of challenges ahead, and I know that, in opportune times, things sometimes don't go your way. We're not scared of what's ahead of us. But by no means, are we acting like we've been anointed? I know there's some really good coaches in this conference. I know they're licking their chops for a chance to play us. Okay, and we're going to have to tee it up, and we're going to have to compete. One team that I'm seeing that no one's talking about is Houston. They just keep kicking ass. That's what they do, and that's what they've done for like the last 4 or 5 years. So, let's understand there's a gauntlet coming, and some real challenges, and we're going to have to answer the bell.
There you go. It starts tonight. It starts in about 45 minutes or so. Let's tell you what we think Arizona must do to win tonight.
Wildcats fans, what are the big keys for today's game? Our keys to the game are brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive Group, the dealership that is different.
Keys to the game: number 1 Arizona, 9th ranked Kansas. We'll start with Kelvin Ifan. Kelvin, what do the Wildcats need to do to win tonight?
I think the number one thing, you cannot get in foul trouble. Kansas is a team that basically is playing 4 guards, and then they pick and roll with a big fella looking for lob opportunities, but they're looking to get to the basket, to get to the free throw line. Yes, they shoot the 3, but I really think they gets into the lane. So I think we're going to have to be smart with how we guard Trey White, man. I think it's up to him to get penetration versus a Walker or Coy Pete to really make some things happen for them. I also believe that we got to turn the ball over less than 10 tonight. On the road, we can't have more than that because these guys take turnovers and get buckets and dunks and get that crowd going, and you don't want that to happen. And then last, I just think we have to really lock in on Trey White.
Trey White, 6'7" guy with a lot of length there. Averages 7 rebounds per ball game. I'm going to go again. Obviously, we talked a lot about Darren Peterson so far tonight, and I think a lot of what you do to win a game is going to be centered around him. And this is a young man that's had a lot of issues with the cramping this season, so I think a fast-paced game, they're going to want to keep it low. They're a very good defensive team, but if the Wildcats can get Darren running, maybe he plays less minutes if they have to take him out if he's not feeling well. So a fast-paced game, I think, lends to Arizona having a chance to win this contest tonight. I also think when he gets the ball, you got to body him up. You got to be physical with Darren Peterson, freshman kid. Those big guys in the middle, whether that's Toby Awaka, whether that's Motias Krivas, if he's going to be guarded out front by Ivan Karchenkov. Be physical with Darren Peterson tonight. I think that's going to be key. I talked about the blocking of shots, and I think that's, ball fakes are going to be crucial in this ball game. Make sure you get your ball fake. Make sure you know where the defender is on your body and get the ball up crisply to the rim so you don't have those opportunities for Budunga to swat that ball away tonight. Those are the things I think Arizona needs to win. And just, again, keep your calm. It's a hostile environment. It's going to be loud. But this team has done that this season. And if they keep their calm, they'll get out of there with win number 24. J-Dub.
Yeah, for me, starts real simple. All games are Mateus Krivas, Tobe Awaka, and Koa Peak games. But this game, primarily, those three guys need to do early work and often work. And I say that because Kansas is very athletic, but like Kelvin said, 4 guards, they're not very deep. Past the, Flory Budunga, they don't necessarily have a lot of rim protection outside of their, wing players coming down. So I'd like to see Arizona right from the start punish Kansas, be smart about those post passes. Obviously, going to try to get over the top of the post ups and try to steal the ball away. Be smart with the post passes. But those three guys, Mo, Tobe, and Koa, I'd like to see 40-plus points, 25 rebounds, that kind of thing. Just impose your will. Darren Peterson, to me, is the big key. I think you got to be really physical with him on those high ball screens. He's an NBA-level ISO scorer. We know what Ivan Karchenkov has done all year. I'm sure there'll be a lot of moments where Dwayne Aristo gets that assignment, Del Orso as well. Whoever's on him, make sure that you're as physical as you can be, fighting around those screens like we've seen Ivan Karchenkov do time and time again, and be physical with him on penetration as well. Bump him off his driving line. I think if he shoots less than 40%, Arizona's going to be okay. And number 3, I think offense is great, but defense, we just saw it. They held their last opponent under 50 points. Be wary of the backside lob passes. That's something Coach Self and with all their athletes love to do. Close out really hard, but balanced on shooters. Help the helper. I think if Arizona holds Kansas, 45 or under and wins the rebounding battle by 10 or 15, they win by a couple possessions in Lawrence tonight.
All right, that's
Our keys for today's game. The keys to the game. Brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive Group, the dealership that is different. The foundation of a great basketball team begins with the starting lineup. Today's starting lineup is brought to you by Rocking K, a master plan community designed by nature.
Jaden Bradley starts at 1 guard, 6'3" senior out of Rochester, New York, averaging 14 points and 5 assists per contest. Braden Burries, 6'4" freshman out of San Bernardino, leading scorer currently at 15 points per game, grabs 5 rebounds, dishes it out 3 times, and has 2 steals per contest. The man in the middle, Mateus Krivas, 7'2" junior out of Chuli, Lithuania. Mo on the season, averaging 11 points, grabbing 8 rebounds, 4th in the conference in blocks, we mentioned, with 41. Ivan Karchenkov at 1 forward. He is 6'7" out of Munich, Germany. Ivan, 9 points and 4 rebounds a contest. And Koa Pete, Chandler, Arizona, 6'8" freshman. Pete, 15 points, 6 rebounds. He's had 4 double-doubles this season. All right, big Monday. Bill Self, 38-0. Tony Padilla in the house. Can Arizona survive it all? We'll find out next. Number 1 Wildcats. Number 9 Jayhawks. The Gauntlet begins. Brian Jeffries and Reggie Gary have the call here on Wildcats Radio 1290, 107.5 AM. Enjoy the game. Bear down, Arizona.
Hi, this is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management. As a boutique fiduciary investment firm, our clients have trusted us to guide them down their financial paths for decades. Whether you are an individual or family, business, foundation, or nonprofit, we are committed to your long-term goals and financial futures. We are proud supporters of the Tucson community and all that makes our city so special. Visit online at meridianwealthllc.com to learn more about Meridian today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Now that winter is really here, cooler overnight temperatures mean that your tire pressure warning light could be on. In most cases, you solve the problem by simply adding the correct amount of air to your tires. As always, you can stop by any of our 14 area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. And if you need help with that low pressure warning light, we fix those too. Check out jackfurriers.com. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
Our daughter was addicted to pain meds, and for over 2 decades, she was lost to us. We tried to help, but the more we tried, the worse it got. She went to 18 different rehabs. We finally realized that to really love her, we needed to let her go, even when that meant her going to jail. When she got out, she went to Gospel Rescue Mission, and as the days turned into months, we knew we had our daughter back.
If you need help, or if you know someone who needs help, go to grmtucson.com.
Now that's what I call savings. Truck buyers, this one's for you. Get up to $7,500 off a new 2026 Chevy Silverado and up to $4,500 off a 2025 Chevy Colorado. 2 tough trucks, one place to save. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Call us at 747-8000, see us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall, or on the web at O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet. Advantage Air Mechanical, the team you can trust. Call 792-9400.
When it comes to the comfort and indoor air quality of your home and office, Advantage Air Mechanical has you covered. Breathing healthy air and having reliable air conditioning is important. If you or someone you know is in need of air conditioning services or a new system installation, we're here to help. Advantage Air Mechanical, 792-9400. AZROC 214570.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Discover Rocking K, a community designed by nature, built for you. Embrace the beauty of the Rincon Mountains' high desert foothills. Explore natural open space, a network of connecting trails, and a community park. Bordering Saguaro National Park, Rocking K is conveniently located to our region's major employers and nationally recognized Vail School District. Tour 10 model homes by 4 award-winning builders and discover why more people are calling Rocking K home. LiveRockingK.com. Proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcast.
When it comes to basketball, nothing beats Wildcat basketball.
Stolen by Korchinkoff on a breakaway. There goes Yvonne to the bucket. Slam it home.
This is University of Arizona Wildcat basketball. And this is the Hughes Federal Credit Union Countdown to Tip-Off show.
Burries with the steal. 3-on-1 ahead to Bradley. Now he'll back up to the corner and shoot an open 3 and score it.
Stay tuned for a complete preview of today's game, including a look at the Cats' opponent, scores from games around the country, and the pregame thoughts of head coach Tommy Lloyd. Countdown to Tip-Off is brought to you by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Visit hughesfcu.org/Wildcats to learn why Arizona fans choose Hughes. Now, Arizona Sports Enterprises is proud to present Wildcat Basketball. Historic Fog Allen Fieldhouse has hosted many a big game, and tonight's will certainly be added to the list as the top-ranked Wildcats put their unbeaten record on the line against the homestanding Kansas Jayhawks. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to the Great Midwest for another big Monday matchup that features two of the hottest teams in college basketball. Arizona at 23-0 versus Kansas at 18-5. Like the Cats' previous Monday game at BYU, tonight will not determine a champion, but it will test the fortunes of two premier programs. Arizona leads the league with a 10-0 record. Kansas is 2 games back at 8-2. Tonight, also the first of 2 regular season meetings. They'll have a rematch coming up on February 28th in Tucson. The University of Kansas, one of the founding members of what was the Big Six conference that has morphed into the Big 12. Arizona is in its second season as a member of the Big 12. The history on the court brief, with tonight's game being the 15th all-time meeting. But how about this? Kansas is the third winningest program by percentage in college basketball history. Arizona is 8th on the list. By the numbers, Arizona and Kansas, two of the top defensive teams in the Big 12. Also get to watch two of the top freshmen in the conference, if not the nation. U of A hot, 23-0. Kansas hot, they won 7 straight. Allen Fieldhouse is hot. 15,300 on hand to see the Cats and the Hawks live from Arizona Sports Enterprises.
Wildcat Nation, show your team pride with every swipe. MidFirst Bank is the exclusive bank provider of the Arizona Athletics debit card. Go to midfirst.com/Wildcats or visit any of the 20 MidFirst banking centers in the Valley to get your official Arizona Athletics debit card today. MidFirst Bank, true to you. Member FDIC.